Hello, my biddies. How are you today? Hi. Hope you all had a good weekend. Mine was okay. I got invited to, well, I got invited to go celebrate my sister's birthday and then ended up not going because I was celebrating my son's birthday instead. So that happens. Also got invited to a Thanksgiving thing. So that's going to be really fun. As far as I know, all my kids are going. So that'll be really fun. Alrighty. Nobody's joining me today. Hello, join me live, please. It'll be fun. I want interaction. I want a community. Okay. So we're gonna start with sister wives, and they showed all of the gals' wedding dresses from when they married Cody. Oh, I forgot to turn the light on. Let's turn the light on. Okay. Hello, light. Come on. Why is it not turning on? Technical difficulties. We'll be right back. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. So my brand new light won't turn on. Thrilled. Thrilled. Thanks, Amazon. Oh, all right. I'll have to send that back, won't I? And buy another one. I'm so mad right now. I mean, it was cheap, but it wasn't that cheap. It should last at least a year. Oh my goodness. Frustration. Frustration. I cannot believe this light will not turn on. I haven't even had it a week. I think I got it Thursday. It's Monday. You've got to be kidding me. That's insanity. All right. Sorry, I'm frustrated now. I really want to cry right now. So, sister wives, I hate sending stuff back. It's such a pain in the ass. This is me mad. Why? Why will it not turn on? Why? I haven't touched it all weekend. I haven't touched it since Friday. It's just been sitting there doing nothing. Have to go fight with it, I guess. Or fight with Amazon. I freaking hate fighting with Amazon. Make my son fight with Amazon. He's the one that bought it. All right, sister wives. So they showed all the weddings from Cody and all the original wives' weddings, and they are ugly. Even Robin's is ugly. It's probably the prettiest in the bunch, and it's still frumpy and ugly and Mary was going through some old stuff and found her wedding dress. She apparently made her own dress, which is impressive, even if the dress wasn't that impressive. Um, and later she found a mystery letter that we will get into later, apparently. Uh, so Cody and Robin says that the kids are welcome in their bedroom, but they only really come in to talk to Robin. Nobody comes in to talk to him. They want cuddles and love and reassurances and talks with Robin, but not him. That's what he implied. That's what he implied. So apparently his relationship with his kids that are actually living in his house is not that good either. Uh Robin complains about Cody's awful dancing. If you've seen Cody's dancing, you know exactly what I mean. The man is atrocious. Robin wants dance lessons. And Cody just wants to do it his way with Robin as an accessory, not a partner. Some of the kids are gathered. I'm pretty sure it's at Maddie's house. Peyton and Gabe apparently both have girlfriends. Good for them, I guess. Although I don't know if I'd want to be a girlfriend either. Christine is now on the try before you buy boat. She thinks that you should live with each other and go on a vacation with each other before you get married, which I'm always for trying before you buy on that kind of situation because you don't know what you're getting if you don't try before you buy. You don't buy a car if you don't drive it. You shouldn't anyway. If you do, don't do that. Go try things before you buy them. I don't Sometimes I don't like buying things on Amazon because I didn't try them first. Maddie is ready to have her fourth kid. Cody doesn't even know she's pregnant. They don't talk and haven't for a couple of years at least, which is sad. I mean, that's really sad when your kid doesn't have a grandfather like that. I know how that feels. My kids didn't have a grandmother because of similar situations. Mary found an old letter from Cody saying that she should have a positive attitude about sacrifices and trials. And that was even before Janelle joined the family. And then you cut to Cody complaining about how insecure Mary was. Well, gee, he was literally trying to find another wife. And how that was so hard for him. Like, dude, you're out partying until 2 o'clock in the morning, and you're complaining about getting up at 6:15, and how hard is that is for you. Can't stand that man. Mary points out that a kind man would be reassuring to his wife when he's looking for a second wife, and she is correct. Or he should just not look for a second wife. That's an idea. Mary says it's disrespectful for Cody to say that he never loved her because she has all those notes and letters saying otherwise, and that's true. Um, I don't understand how you can marry somebody and then later say you never loved them at all, anytime during the marriage, even though you were married for 10, 15, 20, 30 years. Oh, I never loved you. Then why'd you stay so long? Why'd you do it in the first place? Janelle really is a nice person, and this is why she needs to apologize to Christine for what she said to her. If you know, you know. She had her, so Janelle had her mom's wedding ring for when she got married to Cody. She had the diamond in it split up and put it into the Claddagh rings that Cody and Mary already had from their wedding, which is nice. It is really nice that she did that. Mary goes on to say how Christine always seemed to go out of her way to make her feel like she wasn't left out, she was included, she was an actual sister wife. And she also says that she doesn't think that Janelle even knows that she felt really grateful for that. So, Mary, call up Janelle and tell her. Call up Janelle and tell her how grateful you are about how she acted. Mend some freaking fences, girl. So then we go to David and Christine, and David is saying that he doesn't like Peyton's habit of using movie quotes to express himself. Um, like, I guess Peyton must have a quote for everything, which is fine. I mean, if that's how you express yourself, that's how you express yourself. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just a general difference. He doesn't seem to like fiction at all. So yeah, and I know people like that don't like, well, people that don't like certain kinds of fiction, but still, it's silly. It's silly. And I swear David just likes to argue. David just likes to argue. There's people like that. They just want to argue about everything. Christine relied on books and movies for escapism when life with the idiot got too hard. The idiot is Cody. um, Honestly, there are worse things she could have done other than escape to movies and books. Um, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, everybody needs a break from real life sometimes, you know. She says it's hard for her to express herself now because she's so used to bottling everything up because everything with Cody was an argument, more than likely. All right, and then we cut to Cody and Robin getting dance lessons because the idiot dances like he's a stripper and she's the pole. I can see that if you've seen Cody dance. It is very much like that. Cody says in front of Robin that Robin complains about his dancing too much. No, Robin does not complain about your dancing too much. She complains about it too little, probably. Then Christine, in a talking head, says that Cody's dance is called the pump dance. Don't know why. And Janelle said something about his terrible dancing too. Um, we cut back to Janelle, or well, Maddie's house, I think it is, and a whole discussion about Maddie's birth ensues. And like, who cares? We've seen so many births on TLC that it's old hat right now. Nobody cares. Nobody cares about when you're going into labor. And then we go to back to Mary, and Cody melted his clatter ring down and made a pendant out of it for Mary. He melted it down because he didn't want her to have claim on him, from what she says. Mary's friend, I think her name's Jen, it calls him an asshat, and she's not wrong. He is. He says that he didn't want her to have more claim than the others, and that she was demanding. I don't believe him for a second. If she was demanding, it was because you weren't paying enough attention to her, Cody. Mary has done his over and locked everything in a storage unit. Good for you. Put that man away. Then we go to David and Christine. They're still talking, and they're having a conversation about her not being made for polygamy. And apparently, Kotek said the same thing. So they both agree that Christine should have never been in polygamy. She states that polygamous men have egos, and he's been told that they like the wives fighting over them. That's not ego. If you need to have a woman fighting over you, that's insecurity. You're insecure and you need women fighting over you. You're an insecure little boy because that is not what a man does. They then have a conversation about the Mormon magic underwear, if you know, you know, and how she gave it up and Cody didn't really seem to care. She says she dressed frumpy when she was in the magic underwear, which is understandable because it kind of gets in the way. Christine says then that that in their culture, you endure a miserable life to get your reward at the end and get to live in the celestial kingdom with God. And she'd rather enjoy to the end. And she's not wrong. Why? I mean, there's a thing called about suffering, and oh no, it's back. Okay, it's down lower. Okay. And she'd rather enjoy to the end, and I don't blame her for wanting to do that. That your whole life shouldn't be suffering. You should have an enjoyment in life. So then they show Robin and Cody learning a dance, and I swear Cody's worse at learning a dance than I am, and I'm terrible at learning a dance. It takes me forever, and he's worse. Saying something, let me tell you. Mary says that their culture basically celebrated suffering. That suffering would make you better, and if you suffered, you had it made, which explains a lot about some people's ideas about suffering. Like you have to suffer, and it's weird, and I don't like it. Um, so that's the reality roundup for today. There will be more on Tuesday. Okay, so let's get into our Reddit reads. First one is Petty Revenge, and it's entitled Teacher Called Me Catherine because she couldn't bother to learn how to pronounce my name. So I called her by her first name for the rest of the year. Good for you. Okay, so this is a copy and paste from Traumatize Them Back, apparently. In sixth grade, I had a math teacher named Ms. White, who was pretty strict. Our school was honestly very diverse, but she was very, as her name suggests, white. I have a pretty difficult name to say. It's Hawaiian. I'm half Japanese, half white, but both sides live in Hawaii for 3 generations. My name is it's Kau apostrophe I. It looks daunting, but it's just Kaui. That's easy, Kaui. I could My name's harder than that, to be honest. No, I'm not telling you what it is. It's just Nike for you. So honestly, not very difficult in my opinion. It's not difficult. Anyway, Miss White stumbled on my name when she read attendance, and I did the usual, oh, it's pronounced Kaui. You know what she did? She literally went, I'll call you Catherine. No. Call people by the names that ask you to call them. It is disrespectful to continually mispronounce someone's name. It makes you look bad. It makes you look immature. It makes you look stupid. Stop doing it. Make a modicum of effort. Let me tell you, I was flabbergasted. Like, it was a pretty diverse school, and I had never had this happen. Teachers had horribly mispronounced my name, but this was definitely new. Also, no offense to Catherine's, but I love my name and it has a lot of meaning to my family. And to be honest, it sounds cooler than Catherine. Take no offense, please. No, it is. It is way cooler than Catherine. I was so surprised for the first 12 weeks that I kind of just let it happen. At some point, it just started irking me because she made no effort on how to say my name. I never told her she could call me Catherine. On top of that, she couldn't even ask me for a nickname or my middle name or something. Yeah, this lady sounds like a terrible teacher. Terrible teacher. Like, the first thing I would do, actually, Kaui is not that hard. It's 3 small syllables. And, ask for a nickname. Ask for another name. And if they say, "No, I don't have a nickname or another name that I go by," then you go by their name. And if their name is changed, you go by their new name that they asked you to use. So I started calling her by her first name, Jessica. She was the kind of teacher no one called by their first name. Even the other teachers called her Miss White. I had to look in the yearbook from the year before to find it, but from that day on, she was Jessica. And when that didn't make her mad enough, she was Jessie or Jess or JJ or any other nicknames I could think of. She never yelled at me or anything. She just corrected me and says Miss White, and then I would ignore it. For example, Jessa, that's Miss White. Jessica, I don't get number 3. Can you explain? She never lost her temper, but she was always annoyed. Well, I mean, it's good that she didn't lose her temper, but if you're annoyed, how do you think Kaui's feels? She called me Catherine for the rest of the year, so not the most satisfying story, but I was happy with that revenge. Miss White apparently got fired 2 years later for microaggressions towards students of color. Shocker. Shocker. And honestly, I'm not surprised. I just wanted to share this story because I felt y'all would enjoy it. And then she made an edit. Hey, I'm getting a lot of confusion about the pronunciation of my name. Many comments are very kind and saying how they originally thought it was pronounced like Maui. Others are telling me I pronounced my name wrong. I don't know, man, but I do my best and explain the basics for y'all. My name is Kaui, Kau apostrophe I. In Hawaiian, each vowel is pronounced, none are silent. That is true. I knew that. However, native speakers tend to blend them together. For example, an AU would make a AU sound. If you say that fast, it sounds like ow. So even when a native speaker says my name like Kaui, it's very similar to Maui. However, there is a difference because the O is still pronounced a little more. In addition, one difference between Kaui and Maui is the okina, the little apostrophe thingy. In reality, it's a slightly different symbol, but I'm lazy. This basically counts as a consonant and as a little pause. So basically, the AU and I sounds do not merge together like they because they are separated by the okina, just like Hawaii has that little e. Hawaii. It's ka-u-e. Now, why can't you just say Cowie? Good question. You can. I'll still respond. Basically, you're saying your name as if it has no akina when it does. Not a big deal, but that's the difference. Hawaii. There are also say there are also people saying I'm wrong because Hawaii isn't pronounced Hawaii. True, it isn't. The traditional spelling for Hawaii and pronunciation is Hawaii. Basically, the A and the H emerge, and the W and the I merge. The W makes a V sound since it's surrounded by vowels. Oh, okay. Hawaii. Okay, I'll pronounce Hawaii correctly from now on. And then we have an Akina in it and an I, hence Hawaii. Why it's spelled and pronounced differently normally is because of the anglicized version. Almost the same spelling, just no Akina. And the W is seen as making the W sound since that's how it's pronounced in English. Hawaii makes sense, actually. A W is a V in a lot of languages. I'm not all knowing. I don't even speak Hawaiian. I just know some basic facts, but feel free to ask me some more questions. Hope this helps. Yeah, that was a good story. I don't think we need any comments on that one. Yeah, I mean, she deserved to be called just JJ. She was obviously making microaggressions toward Kauai. Kauai, sorry, Kauai. Okay, oops. Don't want to doing that. Okay, so the next read is from Am I the Jerk? AITJ for telling my brother's fiance the real reason our family doesn't like her. Probably, probably you should just kept your mouth shut. My brother's been dating his fiance for about 2 years. She's always wondered why her parents keep things polite but distant. Last weekend, she cornered me at a family dinner and straight up asked, "Do they not like me?" I tried to dodge it, but she kept pushing, saying she wanted honesty. So I called her the truth. My parents think she's using my brother for money. She went quiet and then left early. Now my brother's furious, saying I ruined his engagement and crossed a line. Honestly, I didn't say anything that already wasn't said behind doors. Am I the jerk for finally being honest when she asked? Don't, especially if you're a parent, don't put ulterior motives on your children's significant others. Don't do that. You don't know them when they first get together. You don't even know what they're going to be like later. It's silly. It's silly. The top comment is, did you mention that you thought they were wrong about that, or did you agree with them? And Uber says, leaning towards the latter. Inevitable Impact says, I'm just getting shoot the messenger vibes. That's what I'm getting too. Carolina says, Carolina. Caroline Lena. She has a 9 in the middle of Carolina. I don't know. OP just didn't just hurt the feelings of her brother's fiance. She also revealed something unflattering that her parents said in privately about the woman who's going to be their daughter-in-law. Unless she had her parents' permission to tell the fiance, she's definitely the jerk. No, no, not for that. Yes, the future sister-in-law asked, but that's not really a good reason for turning on her feelings and screwing up future family dynamics. No, they're screwing up the future family dynamic by being distant in the first place. And it's even worse if you ruined your parents' relationship with their future daughter-in-law without even getting their permission. No, they're ruining. People are accountable for themselves and their own actions. Don't talk about her behind her back like that, and it won't happen. Simple. Seems OP wanted to be mean and attack the fiance. I don't blame the brother for being furious. A little bit of decency and tact is not a bad thing when you're dealing with other human beings, much less family. And old Demi Boy says, I do not agree. Honesty always wins. If she was truly after his money, it would end in divorce anyhow, with probably even kids involved. Yes, the truth can hurt, but it also can clear up a lot of things when the parents were wrong. Yeah, that's tough. That's a really tough situation. Um, poor fiance. Poor fiance being dinged before she even does anything. And these are terrible parents. I would never. Terrible parents. Don't be like that. Okay, and now we have entitled people. Friend. in quotation marks, expected me to pay for everything. I just had to cut off an old friend that I rekindled with after I had my son. She has two boys, and her husband and her are separated, but still legally married and living together. Recently, we went to a fair where she expected me to pay for everything. Every time we've ever met anywhere, I'd pay. Stop going out with her. The last time we went out, I suggested Applebee's because it's cheaper and I don't mind paying usually. She said she was expecting something more fancy as if it were a date. Honey, if you're not paying, you don't get to pick. Mind you, and also happily married, I just laughed it off and we went to Applebee's anyways. Well, recently we went to the go to the fair with our kids for a play date. Where never once did I say I was paying because I'm not a millionaire and I can't afford to take a family of three plus me and my son, so really a family of five to the fair. That's fair. To the fair. We get there and I'm buying the pass for my son and myself. She said she left her wallet in the car. Well, go get it. No big deal. I'll pay. Then she can just Venmo me. I pay for the passes. We go on the rides. We're having fun and it's time to eat. We get food at the fair, which is extremely expensive. If you've ever been to the fair, you know that it's ridiculously expensive. Delicious, but expensive. And her kids are just yelling about how they want this and that. She has absolutely no control of them. So I hurry to order everything. This girl has the nerve to add hella more food to the order, which comes out to $110. After we eat, it's getting hot and our kids are tired. So I ask her, like, before you leave, can you Venmo me? She looks me dead in the eyes and says she has no money, that she's broke and her husband cut her off, basically. I told her, if you knew that, then why did you suggest the fare? Why would you say you would Venmo me? Yeah. She said because I don't understand since me and my husband both have good paying jobs. She's a stay-at-home mom, so it's harder. I was a stay-at-home mom and did not expect people to pay for my way. Ever. I didn't know what to say. I just said, okay, put my son in his stroller and got up to leave, and she follows with her kids. As we are leaving, she has the nerve to say she wishes she could go to the escape room, not included in the passes I bought everyone, and keeps looking at me like with this begging face. Oh my God, this lady will not give up. How old is this girl? She did not put ages. She's a full grown woman with two kids and a husband. Honestly, it made me feel disgust, so I said no, and we need to go back. It's getting late and my kids need to nap. We both say bye. Same day, she's calling and texting and asking for the next hangout, inviting herself to my house, saying she can come right now with her boys. S- I say I'll get back to her. It's been 4 days and she calls and texts me every day, which I do not respond to. After I told my husband about everything, he told me to absolutely cut her off, and that it's trifling and she's completely taking advantage of me. She is. Has anyone experienced anything like this? Update. I texted her and said exactly how I feel and that she needs to pay me back. She got mad and ended up blocking her and not responding to her last text. It won't let me upload the screenshots, so I'm just going to copy and paste the messages. Me. Hey, you've been texting and calling to hang out for and schedule, but honestly, I'm not really interested unless you can pay me back for the other day. I spent a lot of money and you lied to me. You told me you would Venmo. I feel like you took advantage of me because we are in the front of the kids and I asked you to pay me back. I would never do this to you. You're just assuming that we are well off because we both work, in reality, because we budget. If you had been straightforward that you didn't have any money, I would have bought snacks and we could have gone to the free splash pad or the park or literally anything free. Her response: what do you expect from me? I'm depressed and going through a divorce and have no money. I tell you the truth and then you use it against me? You're just holding everything you paid for over my head when I would never do that to you. No, of course you'd never do that to her. You don't have any money. Me, you literally did ask me to do that. WTF, you said you were going to Venmo me and literally lied to my face and made sure to wait until after I paid for everything. I get you're depressed and I'm sorry for what you're going through, but that's no correlation to you lying and waiting until I paid to guilt trip me. Her response: I have enough going on right now. I really don't need to be dealing with it, honestly. Then don't create the problem. Don't create the problem in the first place, and you won't be um, having to deal with it on top of everything else. I want to know. I want to know her husband's story. Me. So you are going to take Pay me back or not. Her response, no. Not not I think it's supposed to be, no, you don't need me to pay you back. You're doing just fine. Just a greedy person. Who's greedy? Who's greedy? You literally have your husband paying for everything. You have no idea what it's like to struggle, and I'm struggling so bad right now. We are staying together for the kids, but he doesn't help me with anything, and I never have money. Me, you literally showed up with Starbucks, though. Her response, you're going to be like that and watch all my expenses? Are you even texting me? I don't want to be friends with someone that's going to hold everything over my head. Yeah, and she doesn't want to be friends with somebody who expects her to pay for everything. So I guess you're even. You're just a greedy person. You think you're better than me, and you're not. No, that's not what's going on. This is you projecting. Always look down on people. I never should have told you crap about my marriage because you clearly don't even care. I never responded to her last text and just blocked her. Carlos first has just sent her Venmo request for the money she owes you. She won't contact you anymore. Or I guess keep asking her what her Venmo ID is if you don't have it. An advanced guide says, I like this idea. Yeah, that's a good idea. You can request money from Venmo from people. Request it. Put it on her. Yeah, no. The OP is not being greedy. She has a budget that she has to stick by. This is how you gain wealth and how you retire nicely. Um, this other lady has nothing. Why does she have nothing? I don't know. Get a job, lady. Get a job. If your soon to be ex-husband, I don't even know. They're separated, but they're living together, and she's still staying at home. Like, I don't understand. I don't understand. Maybe I'm dumb, but I don't understand. Uh-oh, this is an update. Okay, cool. We have the original. Okay, this is from Mother-in-Law from Hell from 3 months ago, entitled I Ruined My Gender Reveal. So, me, 24 female, and my boyfriend, 24 male, are expecting. I'm currently 22 weeks along, just over 5 months. It was very unexpected. Now I have a well paying job, not six figures, but enough to own my own penthouse. My boyfriend is a tattoo artist. Now, boyfriend moved in with me not long after I bought the place, the same night we found out we were expecting. Last week we had our housewarming party and invited both our parents to tell them. His mother, we'll call her A. We'll call her Agnes. We'll call her Agnes, has never really liked me. Agnes thinks what I do is not a real job, and she thinks I'm weird because I'm a tomboy. Think short hair, baggy tops, jeans, sneakers, and ear piercings. Now, my line of work is not a normal 9 to 5. It's very artistic and very niche. At our housewarming, Agnes brought Minty with her. Minty is boyfriend's childhood friend who she always thought he would date and marry. Boyfriend and Minty went to different high schools and fell out of touch. Then Minty moved to Portugal where she bikini modeled and studied engineering. Apparently, Minty is very beautiful, probably, and smart. Good on Minty. The complete opposite to me. She only comes to Toronto over the summer, but even then, she and boyfriend don't talk. On top of that, Agnes had the nerve to diss my relationship with my boyfriend and my job within 10 minutes of walking into our house. Boyfriend and his father, we'll call him Otho because it starts with an O. Otho tried reprimanding and correcting her, but Agnes dismissed it as a mother's intuition. Again, don't judge people, especially not your kid's significant others. Stop it. Wait till you get to know them at least, or they show signs that they are doing something you disapprove of. When we told our families that we were expecting, my mother asked if she could plan the gender reveal. Agnes went on to degrade my mother and claim she was unfit to plan the gender reveal because she is hardly a mother. She literally has a daughter. My brothers and I do have a strained relationship with her. When my parents got divorced, my dad got full custody and she got visitation rights but hardly ever came. We're still not okay with her, but my dad invites her to events. She always asks us if she should leave because she doesn't want us to feel uncomfortable or cause a scene. I mean, that's reasonable. At least she's semi-reasonable. She understands that she effed up. That part doesn't bother us. Boyfriend and I kicked out his parents, mostly Agnes, but Otho didn't have a way home, so he was kicked out by association, more than us actually wanting him to leave. Boyfriend and I explained that we weren't having a gender reveal. We both think they're unnecessary. They are. Agree. I think they're silly, but it's just an excuse for having a party. That's all it is. We were going to tell them casually in the group boyfriend made for our baby shower. He did tell his parents this not too long after. Boyfriend and I had our appointment where a doctor told us the gender. We didn't tell anyone. Last week, Agnes invited boyfriend and I and a great deal of my family to her house for an apology lunch. Really, Agnes? We're talking about my parents, my brothers, my uncle, and my 80-year-old grandfather. Boyfriend was skeptical and wanted to decline, but I really thought the twins would be the breakthrough Agnes and I needed to start getting along. She's having twins? I'm confused. Also, boyfriend doesn't have family other than his parents. Fast forward about 5 hours ago. Agnes and Otho's house was drowning in pink and blue balloons and decorations. Agnes wanted that party. My father and brothers kept trying to keep me calm, uncontrollable, and hormonal crying, while my mother was chewing the crap out of boyfriend's mother. Good for mom. Good for mom. She's kind of redeeming herself a little bit. Agnes's plan for the gender reveal was one of those black balloons with confetti for twin one and confetti poppers for twin two. Apparently, she's. How did we miss it? She's pregnant with twins. How do we miss that? Because she did not say that. Since she didn't know either, she had two of us each for pink from surprise to everybody. On top of that, she dictated that she'll be in the delivery room because it's her first grandchild. Oh, no, you will not. You do not belong there. You are not that girl's mother. And if she doesn't want you there, you will not be there. And that my mother missed her chance. My eldest brother's late girlfriend passed in a car accident when she was 16 weeks. Oh, that's horrible. Oh, I'm starting to hate Agnes. I'm starting to hate Agnes. I'm glad I named her Agnes instead of something nice. While my oldest brother and Otho directed everyone to have lunch, boyfriend and I sat both our parents down to tell them that nobody was going to be in the delivery room except boyfriend and maybe my dad if I needed him. That's fair. Everyone, even my mother, understood that. Agnes was not having it. Boyfriend told her off. Boyfriend packed up the last of his things and told me we're leaving. Yes, he was living at home until moving in with me. It's Toronto, rent is expensive. That's fine. It's fine to. They're not that old, right? Yeah, he's only 25, 24. It's fine, especially in a big city where rents are expensive. I mean, my kids couldn't wait to get away from me, but that's okay. All right. Now here's where I may be the a-hole. I told Agnes the twins are non-binary. I love it. Oh, that's great. Excellent. I love it. This is also a jab she would take at me. I banned her from seeing our twins until they were vaccinated. Boyfriend told her he's not invited. Boyfriend told her I think that's supposed to be a she. Boyfriend told her she's not invited to our wedding. We're not getting married. And he threatened to never let her near the twins if she ever pulled anything like this again. Oh, she's going to have first birthday for those kids. She going to have a big old first birthday party and not let them know ahead of time. She thinks that because boyfriend likes to do his nails, wear makeup, and wear man skirts, and I don't, I'm emasculating him. That sounds like his choices. He had been doing all of this long before I met him, although he does his nails because he has anophagia, which is chronic nail biting from OCD-induced anxiety. Onychophagia. I'm not sure about the pronunciation. Boyfriend has been nothing but amazing and supportive while I've been swamped at work. He researched and curated our baby registry, made a list, and sourced out all the baby supplies. Booked all my parental appointments. A pediatrician. Already found a pediatrician, assembled the cribs and strollers and car seats with my dad. He collected my prescription without me asking. He's planned our baby shower and made sure that our building security knew not to let up his mother. He interviewed nannies with my mother, and right now, as I typing it, he's making a spreadsheet night schedule. He says, "Hi, Reddit." Well, he sounds like a winner for sure. Please don't ask the twins' gender. His mother has read it, and we still haven't told anyone else just to spite her. So, oh, her name's Anna, not Agnes. If you read this, hi. Oh, we have revealed mother-in-law's name, and it's Anna. That wasn't Anne with an E. Those are the worst people. Oh, Blueberry Yogurt Cup says, boyfriend and I kicked out his parents. Oh, well done. Team you two. Last week I invited for an apology lunch. Oh, wow. And the lunch began with the apology, publicly given for all the insults, also given to everyone there with remorse, regret, and admitting her behaviors have been very wrong. Boyfriend was skeptical and wanted to decline because sadly he knows who she is. But I really thought the twins would be the breakthrough and Anna and I needed to start getting along. And I remember being that helpful. It didn't last either. Oh, poor Blueberry. On top of that, she dictated that she'd be in the delivery room because it's her first grandchild. So that's her apology? Doing a forced gender reveal, lie and scheme, and call it an apology to get you to come in and hand out her demands? I suspect she has a very strange dictionary. A real apology is how to clear rubble off the ground to begin rebuilding a new healthy relationship after a screw up. It's just the first step. Your MILFH, oh, mother in law from hell. Your mother in law from hell can't even make it actually to the first step. And my mother in law missed her chance. And I can't read that again. It's too sad. Oh, wow. Mother in law from hell is a truly horrible, horrible person. Yes, she is. She's doing what abusers do, using all the things she knows about people that will be most hurtful to them. Boyfriend and I sat both our parents down to tell them that nobody was going to be in the delivery room except for them. Maybe dad if I needed him. Good for you, team two. And then Blueberry continues. Even my mother understood that Anne was not having it. Good job, your mom. Anne needs therapy. Yes, she does. And a very, very long time out from you, your child, and your children, because they're having two, until maybe you have recovered from the birthing, healed, and are at the point of getting enough sleep and having a good routine for your, at your home for your children, care, work, and chores. Keep this horrible woman away from you, and a reasonable thing to do is her to protect you from her behaviors and stresses now, and protect you and baby both from her trying to stomp all over your decisions and after. Boyfriend told her off. Well done, boyfriend. Boyfriend packed the last of his things and said, we're leaving. Brilliant. That means you can both take a break from her long enough to get through this new adventure and then time to decide about what to do about her future. And it's going to be even longer because they're twins. So it's going to be even longer to get over the birth and on to a good schedule where that you feel good again. Now, here's where I might be the a-hole. I told Anne that the twins are non-binary. I'm sorry, it's so funny. I love it. This is also a jab that she would take at me. This is fine. You were insulted, lied to, forced your attendance, manipulated, and had your decision stomped in the dirt, and were subjected to a scheme where uh, mother-in-law from hell was trying to use your relatives to force you to comply with her demands. There was no apology given, and instead she doubled down on using more hurtful, nasty, abusive insults. I think saying something like this can be labeled mild reaction to having been provoked, abused, lied to, and repeated on the same day. You do not hold an apology for this. All the apologies are owed by her to everyone else, not from you. Yes, exactly. It's okay to let her know that she hasn't given her apologies, and because of what happened, will have to write them down now because there's nothing to do to fix this relationship now until she can give a real apology that admits what she's done wrong and what she's going to do to fix this and change herself. Yeah, that's never going to happen. She's never going to admit to wrongdoing. She's never going to try and fix it, and she's not going to change herself. She's too far gone. She's set in her ways. Quote, I banned her from seeing our twins until after they were vaccinated. Blueberry, excellent. That's reasonable. She's repeatedly shown you that she cannot be trusted. Setting this as a boundary gives her time to consider her behaviors, getting get a start on professional help, and to learn enough to be able to start and respect boundaries and be polite company. Of course, she's probably not going to do this. I'd also block her on all your things so that you get a break from the stress of her while you are under this extra physical pressure. So get a journal or start a file and write down all the things you said you would do. As you find new worries, write down the new boundaries that you two will be able to keep your protector from your family. Boyfriend told her she is not invited to our wedding and we are not getting married. Good for him. She doesn't have to know that's not happening. If when you talk to her again, she brings this up, all he needs to say is, I told you my decision about that and there's nothing more to discuss on that topic between you and me. And then another quote, and he threatened never to let her near the twins if she pulled anything like this again. And the answers or the blueberry says, "Good, write it out. That looks like what you both know when to have this consequence." Wow. Yeah, Grandma Anna ain't gonna be happy about the outcome of this. She is not gonna be the grandma. I wouldn't let her near my kids. Okay. So here's the update. I went into premature labor because twins. That's what happens. We had a boy and a girl. Oh, good for you. We never told Anna when I went into labor, but boyfriend's father, Otho, told her because we still used to talk to him. Unfortunately, we asked Otho not to tell Anna, but obviously, well, then you shouldn't have told him because you knew he was going to tell her. She came to the hospital guns blazing and was livid that my mom got to hold the twins first because apparently it's not a it's a thing for paternal grandparents to get the first hold. As a paternal grandparent, no, it's not. No, that's not true. Whoever gets there first gets to hold them. That's just life. Boyfriend and my brothers couldn't find anything about this, so we're not bothering with that. Yeah, because it's not true. Please do not fall into this trap. I wouldn't. I would be too bad, so sad. A lot of mother-in-laws from here use this tactic. I heard it from my nurse. A second nurse paid security to drag Anna and Otho out of the room. We also made it explicit that we're not having guests over the first month of the twins being home. That's fine. Thankfully, in my building, all guests have to go through security to be let up. Boyfriend's parents came by every single day. Like, take a hint, people. Oh my goodness. For almost a whole week. The first day, security called my penthouse and I told them no guests. Anna threw a tantrum and called the police that we had kidnapped our own children. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. She's insane. They were escorted off the property and then came back the next day. Anna claiming she's going to sue us for custody. Oh, do it. Go for it. Be laughed out of court. That'll be hilarious. The day after that, police were already waiting to escort her on the property. Day after that, boyfriend met her there with the police and claimed that we would be pressing charges for harassment and stalking. This seemed to be the only thing that's kept Anna away so far. I feel terrible that boyfriend's parents are going to be very limited in the twins' lives, but at the same time, they brought up upon themselves. Limited? No, this is a no contact thing. They should not have anything. You should not have anything to do with them. They're liable to kidnap your kids. Like, projection is a thing. We and the twins are doing better. They are exhausting, but I wouldn't trade them for anything, and I couldn't ask for a better father for them. Boyfriend and I are engaged. Yay! Congratulations. Sending love and support to everyone on this thread. Good luck with your mother-in-law from hell. Destiny Crane says limited. You mean never going to see them, right? The minute grandparent makes custody threats is the minute she's permanently banned from the child's life. Yes. And somebody answers yes. The minute custody and grandparents' rights rears its ugly head, all communication is between attorneys. Grandparents' rights really only come in when a parent is missing out of the child's life. That's the only time a grandparent. Otherwise, the parents of the children make all the decisions, and if they decide that you're not fit to be a grandparent to their grandchildren, then that's it. That's all there is. Moving. Sorry. Oop, there. Um. So yeah, that's that. That's crazy. Where do people get off? I don't understand people at all. This is from the subreddit What Should I Do? And it's entitled I Was Accidentally Fired. What Should I Do? Not too long ago, I was accidentally fired by HR. They were pretty cold about firing me and just said it had to do with my history. I started crying and went to get my bag to leave, and boss asked what's wrong, and I said I felt sad about leaving. And they looked confused and called HR, and then suddenly it's revealed that they fired the wrong person. They didn't mean to fire me. The HR lady didn't apologize, but my boss did. Now I have to work with the same HR lady to redo my employee credentials and logins. I feel really off about what happened. I'm not sure what to do other than just move on, but I'm not happy. And now my coworkers have seen me cry and I feel resentful of HR. What should I do? I mean, you should not do anything except demand an apology from the HR lady. Could have been an honest mistake. Sometimes people make mistakes. You do have to forgive and let go sometimes. And I don't think this was this big of a deal. It didn't like, I mean, it's a good thing you didn't leave before your boss saw you, but, yeah, like, mistakes happen sometimes. Mistakes happen sometimes. We can be forgiving. We can be kind. But the HR person really needs to say, "I'm so sorry. I did not mean." Maybe she hasn't had a chance yet, or maybe she hasn't had a chance to put it into words of her own yet. But yeah, it's really sad. But honestly, I wouldn't put too much into it. It's probably not worth it. Next, we have malicious compliance entitled Making Them Cold Just Seemed the Right Thing to Do. I used to work in a retirement village in a communal restaurant dining room. There was this awful family who, despite being only a 15-minute drive from the village, would almost never visit their mother. We can call the mother Sam. Sam was kind. Sam's family were constantly neglecting to provide items such as clothing, and most of Sam's valuables had, in my opinion, been stolen by them. As they were the power of attorney for financial, personal, and health matters, nothing legally could be done, apparently. Yeah, that's sad. Don't do that to your parents, people. Fast forward to a hot Australian Christmas day. I would love a hot Christmas day. I'm gonna be honest. I really, really want to go to the Southern Hemisphere for Christmas once. Or for my birthday, because that's in the same month. Fast forward to a hot Australian Christmas day. The village is hosting a Christmas lunch for the old people who didn't manage to get out for the day. Families were welcome, but you had to book ahead. The invitation clearly said to bring a jumper. A jumper is a sweater for those who do not know. As the AC was very cold to cater for the constant opening of the dining room doors, with guests coming and going. Naturally, Sam's family failed to book a seat and had to be accommodated last minute. Naturally, they were the only ones without a jumper. I got the privilege of finding them a place to sit, so I dressed Sam in extra warm, nice outfit and set up the table under the big main AC vent. 10 minutes later, Sam's annoyed son and daughter-in-law approached me and asked, "Can you please turn down the air conditioning? It's too cold." "Yep, no problem. I can do that." And I did. I turned the AC down at an extra 4 degrees, I think to 16 degrees Celsius, if memory serves. She turned it down to 16 degrees, which is pretty cold. Zero, 0 degrees in Celsius is freezing. Sam's family left earlier than any other family, and Sam was able to spend the rest of Christmas with people who spoke to her like she was a human being. Edit jumper equals sweater or jersey. We also used jumper cables to warm up the old people until the Age Care Commission decided it was a crime. Oh, I like OP. She has a sense of humor. You want to join us over here, OP? F Sam's family. I hope she's at peace now wherever she is and doing. And OP says she is. It's been about 15 years and I still think of her. Yeah, I worked in a similar facility once and you do think about them every once in a while. You know, it's been a while, so they're probably all deceased, but okay, I'm not going to read that. All right. Our next subreddit is AITAH. AITAH for physically defending myself from a grown man when I was late bringing his daughter home. Me, male, 20. My date, 20, female, and her father, 40, male. Okay, you're an adult and your date's an adult. What's the issue? I had taken an interest in this girl, and before taking her out on our first date, I found out that she still lives with her parents and she had a curfew. Ah, where are my flags? Where are my flags at? Here we go. I found them. Uh, Red flag for having a 20-year-old have a curfew. That's ridiculous. I respected that she was smart enough to pick a college in her town and staying with her parents. I plan on taking her out to putt golf and have our conversation part done there while we ate some walking tacos. Upon picking her up, her father is this much older man. He's 40. He's 40. He's not a much older man. He's just 40. According to my date, was very traditional on dating. He said that I needed to have her home by 9:30. He said needed to have her home by 9:30 sharp. Your curfew for your 20-year-old is 9:30? Is that when you go to sleep, Grandpa? I don't even go to sleep at 9:30 most of the time. Most of the time. Once in a while. I said okay and promised to take her home on time. We had our date and it was fun interaction. Unfortunately, on the way home, there was this jerk who wouldn't let us pass and was going almost 15 miles below the speed limit. I ended up arriving at her house late. Of course you did. Of course you did. Couldn't you have called and said, "Hey, we're behind. There's traffic." I planned to explain myself when walking her up the walkway to her door until her father physically grabbed me by the collar of my shirt and throw a free hand in a fist. You're gonna hit somebody? This poor girl, get her out of this house, please. Even if you don't wind up together, get her out of this house. Out of reaction, I had gotten behind him and twisted his arm. I kept him there as he swore at me and said I would never date his daughter. I let go and sped off in my car. Later, my date called me, telling me that I just need to apologize for attacking her father. No, and hurting his pride. His pride needs to be kicked out the door. I do feel bad that I did this, but I also feel justified for what I did. Update. I actually ran into the father at my job. Your father's stalking you now, dude? He ended up apologizing to me for his actions. His justification was that he thought of the worst because he became a father around my age. I forgave him for assaulting me. I did tell him I won't be seeing his daughter and he walked away. Also, for the people who hated me on this post, I'm sorry I offended you with how young people think 40 years old. You act like he's 80 though. He's only 40. That's just my perception of time. Well, you need a new perception, little boy. I also estimated his age. It's the first date. You normally don't go asking people the age of their parents on the first date. Well, yeah, but you also don't assume how old they are either. And if he did indeed get her pregnant, or he did indeed have her when he was 20, he is 40. It's only 40. For the curfew, it's his thing. Now, in the Midwest, that's normal. No, it is not. I live in the Midwest. That is not normal to have a curfew for your 20-year-old child, regardless of age, especially if you live with your parents while attending school. No, you can ask my kids. Lauren's not here right now. They did not have curfews. I don't think I never had a curfew. I never had a curfew. My kids never had curfews. You don't need curfews when your children behave. You need curfews for kids who don't behave. As long as your kids is behaving and they've always gotten in at reasonable times or stayed over at a friend's. I don't know what they were doing. I don't care. It's not that big a deal as long as they're not getting in trouble. Now, once they start getting in trouble, that's a different situation. Kids, well, my oldest one got into a little bit of trouble, but not anything major. My final addition to this, for questioning about my method of how I handle him, is called taking classes. I'm by no means an expert in hand-to-hand combat, nor do I want to. I only desire to learn enough to either get out of a dangerous situation or prevent it from escalating further. Yes, and this is especially important for women. I've also taken classes on self-defense. Um, I put my daughter in karate when she was little, so she could learn some self-defense. Never needed it. We've never needed it. But I know that I have that knowledge if I do need it. Anyone who made questions like, how did you get behind him if he got you by the shirt, has probably never been in a physical fight in their lives. Clothes can stretch under tension. I am aware of my online presence as much as my previous posts are that are in 18 plus stuff or the one where I wanted to hurt my father. One that has sh- crap has nothing to do with this. Two, I was in a very bad headspace when I made that post because of my own trauma. Again, I'm human like anyone else. I have certain desires, and what I do during my own personal time is none of your business. Yeah, I wouldn't judge you for this. Minimalist coach says NTA, you are 100% legally allowed to defend yourself from assault. 100% true. I'd reconsider this. I'd reconsider if this was a situation that you want to deal with. Um, And Stunning Maze says exactly the father initiated the physical assault. The fact that the daughter's main concern was her father's pride and not the fact that her date was attacked is a massive red flag. Yes, it is. This family dynamic is a huge problem. Did you date one of Cody Brown's kids? Was this one of Robin's daughters? Because I can see that happening. I can totally see that happening. You don't have a 9:45, 9:30. 9:30 is ridiculous. It's not even dark at 9:30 in the summer where I'm at. Next, we have a new subreddit called Benign Existence. And this is called A Child I Didn't Know Recognized Me. Hmm, interesting. This week, I started attending rehearsals for my community theater's fall production where I will be running the lights. I'm acquaintances with a few cast members since I was cast in last year's show. I just settled into my seat and pulled a teacup and insulated carafe. I don't own a large enough thermos to get me through a producer's meddling from my bag. A child I don't recognize guests. You're the tea lady. My mom was in the play last time and said there was a person who looked scary but was nice and brought tea. Do you have long nails today, too? Somewhat baffled, I showed her my hand. Whoa, you're real. I gotta tell my mom. Oh, that's a kid. Oh, that's so funny. Kids are so cute. Kids are so cute and funny. She ran off to her mother, who was apparently also a cast member last year. I had maybe helped with a quick change once. We never really talked. I didn't realize I made that much of an impression, but apparently it was enough for her kid to know me a year later from description alone. Oh, that's so sweet. That's so fun. Kids are great. This is why we have them, because they're wonderful. Jody M said, "Looks scary, but it's actually nice. Do you have resting bitch face or grumpy look? I was told similar things in high school. It was either I looked like I was ready to burn everything to the ground, or my classmates were afraid to approach me because I looked mean and angry." And OP says, "Resting bitch face, and I played a vengeful ghost. I can't blame her for being intimidated." Yeah, I was in the play when I was in high school, and for months afterwards, little kids would come up to me and go, "You're the fairy godmother." Like, yeah, everybody's fairy godmother. It was fun. Okay, the next one is from Just No Mother-in-Law. Update. Marriage ruined by Mel. Oh no. Okay. Um, that's just an update. Let's see if we can find the original. Oops. This is taking some time. All the posts are not there. That's weird. Okay, I found it. Okay, so the original was entitled "My Marriage is Almost Over Because of Conflict with Mill." My mother in law has been problematic since we started planning our wedding. Before my husband and I were engaged, she said how amazing I was, and I think I might. This is really long, by the way. Okay. My mother in law has been problematic since we started planning our wedding. Before my husband and I were engaged, she said how amazing I was, and I think might have love bombed me. But it started off great, or so I thought. We didn't even live in the same state, but anytime I see her, it's nothing but passive aggressive statements dismissing anything I say, making snide comments behind my back, and playing bizarre games to undermine me. Many times I think it's me and I'm going crazy, but then I tell others and they tell me she's a narcissist and she's abusive. I brought this up to my husband and he denies it, defends, and sympathizes with her bad behavior. It's pushing me away and I feel so alone. We have had so many fights over her behavior, I've started to dread seeing her. I'm tired of feeling hurt, disrespected, and invalidated. My marriage could very well end over this because I can't get along with someone that treats me the way she does, and he thinks her and I should be close. You don't have to be close with your mother in law. I mean, if she's not a nice person, who needs that? Honestly, who needs that? Sorry, lips are a little dry. we start planning we start planning a wedding we are paying for ourselves. We are two late bloomers getting married for the first time at almost 40, and to add more context to this, Mill is on FaceTime with my husband thinking he's by himself and starts going into our guest list and who should we should be inviting. Like that's any of your business. I jumped on this like a fly on crap and said, "Our guest list isn't open for discussion. This is between fiance and I." Homegirl gets super awkward and cold. We awkwardly get off the call. A few weeks later, she's at it again, thinking I'm not around. I said, "We already spoke about this and it's not up for discussion." She is in front of other family, so she again gets awkward, changes the subject, but I can see through her FaceTime she's perturbed. After that, she came for me. She came into town for a special event for my husband, made it all about her. Behaved badly at the event, walking around crying, saying she wished his late father was there. She's remarried and happy. Yeah, I bet her husband's not, though. I had a friend in town staying at my house that weekend, so she witnessed a lot. At one point, my husband was saying how well I knew him. We get up to use the restroom. She turns to my friend and says, "I think I know him a bit better than she does." Even if that's true, don't say that. Later that weekend, she asked me about what she should wear to our wedding. She complains about how they fit. I get out the planning stuff. Okay. Later that weekend, she asked me about what she should wear to our wedding. I get out the planning stuff and my laptop and show her the flower girl dresses and the bridesmaids' dresses. She complains about how they fit the models. I gave her my color swatches. She complains about those, saying none of them will look good on her. I said even a shade of those colors will work. I just want the photos to be good because I don't know when I will have my whole family together again. She shows me a baby blue sparkly dress. I say absolutely not. This is a fall wedding and the venue is boho. That doesn't even come close to matching my colors and what the bridal party is wearing. My daughter-in-law went shopping for my attire for her wedding, and my daughter approved my outfit for her wedding before I bought it. So you do need to consult with your kids. My friend heard the whole exchange. Fast forward to the wedding. She meddled in all the setup and help we tried to coordinate, speaking for other people saying when they couldn't help. I told her we would speak to them directly and not assume. She didn't like that. The next day I get to the venue. She's in my bridal suite, not invited, in sparkly blue dress. My stomach fell to my butt. I couldn't breathe. I had to swallow tears and try to keep from crying. A few days after, my husband ripped her a new one and she claimed there was a misunderstanding and how she wanted to make it right. There was no misunderstanding. You were literally told not to wear that dress. Blew up my phone after she told blew up my phone after told her I wasn't ready to talk. She manipulated him into thinking it was a misunderstanding, so he felt bad and was angry at me after he spoke to her about it. I still haven't been able to talk to her about it. I don't think it will go well. I don't think she will be honest, but my girlfriend reminded me of what I already knew about the conversation, and I was clear. It was also communicated to me by three of my close friends that a drunk aunt went up to them and told them how I wouldn't allow my husband to invite family members because I was controlling the guest list. It's her guest list. I had never met her aunt before or spoke or talked to her before the wedding. Well, you were there, so obviously not controlling it too much. Given all the issues with his mother and the guest list, I think it would be fair to assume mother-in-law spoke poorly about me to a family member I had not yet met. Little did the aunt know the guest list was mostly my husband's people. I had my immediate family, a cousin, an old roommate, and a handful of close friends. The rest of the guests were tied to my husband. I had no problem doing this, but her comments bother me because by no means were the attendees from both sides equal. I completely pandered to my husband, and he has been grateful to me for that. After more weird interactions, this last one really doesn't sit well with me. Why are you still talking to this lady? She is visiting with us at dinner and asked my 12-year-old what he does for lunches. She has a 12-year-old? It's weird. You didn't mention kids before, although you did say you were 40. She says he eats hot lunch. She says we could make your lunch. It warmed my heart because she was doing a step grandmotherly king for my kid. She asked him what he likes. He says tuna with pickles. She responds, gross, not in my house. No way. Do you like PB&J? My grandson doesn't like peanut butter. What's wrong with him? We could use my famous jam. He's an agreeable kid and he agrees to it while she dictates all the other foods to put in his lunch and makes a list to go to the store. My kids never liked when I made them peanut butter and jelly because the um, jelly would seep through the bread. I don't know. I even started putting peanut butter on both sides of the bread, putting the jelly in the middle. They still didn't like it. I was never asked about or anything or included in the discussion, mind you. I just thought she was doing a nice gesture and was going to focus on that and not the other crappy things she does during the exchange. That evening, I go upstairs to get water. She's standing in the hallway in a skimpy nightgown, and her saggy old boobs are showing way too much for me to feel comfortable with. Well, if that's comfortable for her to sleep in, that's okay. That was kind of snide of you. I avoid her and beeline for the kitchen, but she grabs me and hugs me and tells me she loves me. It made my skin crawl. I don't know, maybe you're as much as a problem as she is. Then she says, let me show you where all the lunch stuff is in the kitchen. I'm speechless, confused, and angry all at once. She never asked me if I wanted to make the lunch. She voluntold me in the most bizarre way ever. To this day, I don't understand what happened or what she was doing. My husband and I get into a fight over it. It seems kind of like a silly thing to fight over. She denies she was being malicious, and again, I'm crazy, and it's all in my head. He talks to her the next day after I ask him not to. Her response is not remorseful. It's just I can't do anything right with you two. And after that, he proceeds to tell me I've ruined the relationship with his mother over a peanut butter sandwich. Now I avoid her. I don't return texts, calls, cards, nothing. Anytime I let her in, she does something, and she's saying that it's on me and that this is the way it is and my fault because I haven't spoken to her and I don't believe she will be honest, accountable, or respectful. I'm afraid of being disappointed and that if I don't capitulate and allow her to treat me the way she does and keep writing it off as misunderstandings, he will deem me the problem and leave me. I'm just so sad and I always feel confused after these types of interactions with her. My son has expressed he feels weird and uncomfortable around her. And my husband blames me and is so defensive about it all. Yeah, you have a mother in law problem and a husband problem because your husband should be backing you up, not her. Affectionate Paige says, you made a mistake. Don't let this negativity impact your son for one more minute. Correct the mistake. You don't want your son to go no contact with you because you brought up a bad dude in his life. Have the courage to do the right thing. It's better to do it now than wait for them to do more damage to your son. You will feel immense guilt if your son has problems in adulthood because of this situation. I don't know that there's a problem between the son and the husband. You didn't mention that. All right, here's the update. A few weeks ago, I talked to you about the horrible things my mother-in-law has done and how my husband defends her. I showed him your replies and the overwhelming support you all gave me. I showed him the videos on YouTube about narcissistic mother-in-laws and what to do about them. He has continued to defend her and say none of her actions have been malicious. This was after the passive-aggressive texts she sent to me through a group chat last week and after her learning we were coming home for my son's birthday, who I haven't seen in 6 weeks. Why haven't you seen your kid in 6 weeks? She was pressuring us about staying with her and getting dinner. We would only be there for 4 days, and I wanted to focus on my son. She's a grown woman who is retired, rich, and can travel. My son cannot. She made the trip for my son's birthday about her. My husband then refused to attend my son's birthday and punish me about our fight about this. This is when I decided it was over. No accountability, totally enmeshed. My mother-in-law has caused the divide she wanted. Well, he filed for divorce on Friday and left me all weekend with an overdrawn checking account. That's not cool. Blaming me for the conflict with mother-in-law. My mother-in-law won. I'm sure she's celebrating the demise of our marriage. I'm done. This bizarre enmeshment has been so confusing. I feel like I'm on the outside of their relationship for so long. I feel a lot of pain and confusion, but my heart knows this is right. I can't believe I slept next to this person for 4 years. Please send virtual hugs. My heart aches. Your advice on my last thread really helped me see through truth. Thank you for all for helping me gain my reality. Well, that's really sad. I don't know understand why you haven't seen your kid for 6 weeks. That seems wrong. Don't go all that time without seeing your kid. Unless it's not the 12-year-old she's talking about. And if it is the 12-year-old she's talking about, where was he for 6 weeks that you haven't seen him and you have to travel to go see him? Do you not have custody of your kid? What's wrong with you? I'm sorry. Yeah, it's really sad. It's really sad that they could not make that work. But her husband needed to stand up for her against his mother-in-law if he wanted to make it work. Obviously, he was not willing to make it work, so that is that. Retail hell. Cashiers like it when you unfold the bills for them. Yes, we do. This little girl was buying something with her money, and her mom was showing her how to be the customer. The little girl grabbed her bills, and her mom told her to unfold them because it's a courtesy for cashiers. Yes, and thank you, because the amount of people who just throw folded wads of bills on the counter, I swear. I'm used to it by now, and unfolding the bills doesn't take that much effort, but I really appreciate seeing a parent teach their child to show a little courtesy for retail workers. It made my day. The mother even thanked me for my patience as she was helping her daughter sort out the money. Bless her. I would never, I would never throw a wadded up bill to a cashier. How are they supposed to even read it? Don't do that. Princess's Stuff says, one time I was bagging groceries for a mom and her 5-year-old son. He kept saying thank you, like, thank you for the eggs, thank you for the bread, etc. She told me after she taught him how to say please and thank you, he really took it to heart and loved being polite. Oh, that's so cute. That is so cute. My couple weeks ago, my grandsons were in a sorry phase. They were sorry for everything they did, even if it wasn't bad. Sorry, sorry. You don't have to be sorry. You're fine. Oh, they're so cute. They're so cute. The next read is from I the Devil, so you know it's going to be bad. AIO for being a giant mama's boy. This is from Am I Overreacting originally? AIO for getting upset when my wife had another man in the delivery room. Last month, my 28 male's wife, 25 female, called me in a frenzy saying that her water broke and she was going into labor. This was incredibly shocking as both of us as still she was early on in the pregnancy. That doesn't sound good. The problem with this is I was already on the road about 30 minutes away tending to my mother, who had just called to tell me that she was in an accident, not a significant one, but it shook her up. I told my wife to call an ambulance because I would not be turning around to drive her to the hospital and witness her birth. Okay, you know your mother's fine. You need to turn around. Call your mother, say, hey, sorry, I know you're in a bad spot. Can you call somebody else to take care of this because she just her water just broke and I need to go home. And I don't know anybody who would be mad about it. If my s- son did that, it would be, no, you need to go be with your wife. She yelled, cursed, cried, and screamed at me through the phone while I tried to calm her down by telling her to call my sister if she didn't want to call an ambulance, since my sister lives only 20 to 25 minutes away. That's still a long time. After this, she went silent, hung up, and I didn't hear from her for about an hour and a half. I checked my phone for the first time since getting to my mother, and my sister sent me a video of my wife actively giving birth while holding her male friend's hand the way women squeeze their husband's hands for comfort during labor. What did you expect her to do? What did you expect her to do? My sister immediately followed up the video with a text saying, when are you going to get here? I ignored this text. Even your sister knows. I ignored this text and asked her if she was the one who drove my wife to the hospital, and she responded, no. I asked her who did, and she informed me that it was my nice male friend who only lives 10 minutes away. She did the smart thing. She called the closest person who drove her and was getting his hand squeezed by my wife. So I ended up just asking my sister for the full story while I drove back my mother back to her home since everything was sorted with the accident. So you've been gone how long now and still not at the hospital with your wife? Long story short, instead of calling my sister or an ambulance, my wife called her male friend that I've always unliked, but never informed my wife. Well, then you're just a frickin' idiot. I told my sister to get on FaceTime with me, but not to make it obvious to anyone who else is in the delivery room. I would stay silent on the other end. Well, that's BS. Why are you doing that? Why are you doing that? During the call, I saw my wife's friend rubbing her back, wiping her tears, comforting her while she screamed and cried, etc. What is he supposed to do? This is what you're supposed to be doing right now, not sitting on FaceTime with your sister. I couldn't bear the sight and ended the FaceTime and told my sister to inform my wife that I would be at the hospital the next day after work whenever she got out of labor. My sister called almost 2 hours later to tell me she left the hospital and that my wife would be staying the night. So this is 2 hours after all the hours you've already missed. The next day, around 3 or 4 p.m., when I went over to the hospital to see my wife and newborn, did you not go after you dropped your mom off? Did you not go to the hospital? Oh my gosh, yeah, this guy's the devil. The next day, around 3 to 4 p.m., when I went over to the hospital to see my wife and newborn son, she was not trying to hide her enter and I think it says enter, I think he means anger. Anger and saltiness from anyone in the room. Nor should she. She just a whole human just came out of a VJ. That included mostly my family and some of hers. Then I asked her why she was acting this way. She rolled her eyes and told her to leave her the F alone in front of everyone. Good for her. You deserve that. Later, when I tried to hold my son, she snatched him from my hands. In this hospital, visiting hours ended at 8, but all the guests, including me, left by 6. So you didn't even bother staying till 8? Dude. Dude. When we were alone, I finally got the chance to have a conversation with her about why she's being so salty on a memorable day that should have been filled with love and joy. I can't with this guy. She responded by getting angry and mumbling something about my audacity to miss her birth and be surprised that she's angry. And she is correct, sir. I'm not proud of this, but in response, I called her a cheater for inviting another man into the living room in place of her husband. You weren't there. Ooh. Mm. This spiraled into a short, full blown argument between us that eventually ended when a NICU nurse came back with the baby. It's been a month since then, and my wife only refers to our son as her son, her baby, good for her, etc. I've tried to get closer to her by sitting down and trying to have a deep conversation about our family's future, and she flat out told me that she was never having another child with me after what happened, which deeply hurt me. Give her some frickin' time, dude. You really betrayed her. You really, really betrayed her. Last week, I heard my wife on the phone talking about who would be godfathers and mothers to our son. She told whoever was on there and that she would be choosing the male friend as a godfather because he was there for me when my name couldn't care less. Actions have consequences, people. This post is all over the place, but let me know if I overreacted in the argument when I saw her in the delivery room after she gave birth, or if anyone knows how to fix my marriage and family. Edit. No, this isn't rage bait. I genuinely need advice. Sorry if the wording made it seem that way. I also didn't know the accident was minor until I arrived. So you turn around and go back. Even if it was major, you turn around and go back. And everyone suggesting we get a divorce doesn't know the meaning and dedication of marriage and family. Oh, you're getting a divorce, dude. You just don't know it yet. If you have questions, please message me if you want an answer. Oh, you're getting a divorce, honey. You just don't know it yet because she's done with you. She's done with you, and I don't blame her. I cannot believe you waited a whole 24 hours before going to see your kid. I don't know what that says. I know my marriage best. Everyone is telling us to get counseling or therapy. My wife is just holding a grudge, and I need help on how to stop that grudge. Oh, she's quoting. Yes, I understand why she would hold a grudge, but it's been a month. This grudge is straining my relationship with my son as well. I've asked family, and they've all said she's being immature and needs to be over it by now. No, I'm not trying to justify my actions either. And he says, can't possibly be my fault that my wife is upset to me. No, the fact that she's holding a silly grudge is the problem. My mommy even told me so. Full Moon Twist says, hate, hate, hate that he is framing it as a petty grudge and not hurt or anger that has not in any way been properly addressed or mended. And the original commenter says, all his comments were trying to diminish the harm he caused his wife and his marriage with his choices, while also framing it as her fault. Presumably, the one she took offense to was hurt by his crappy choices, and two, that she didn't immediately get over her offense or hurt. Plus, the baby's premature. That's a good point. The baby was way premature. That's horrible. That poor woman. That poor woman. I'm sorry. I don't blame her for not wanting another kid with you. I wouldn't want to live with you. I wouldn't want that kid with you. Server life. New notice from corporate. This is Red Robin. Yeah, I will share. Apparently, the script at the bottom says failure to script 3 times in a shift will result in immediate transfer of all tables being sent home for the remainder of the shift, a mandatory sit down with the managing partner. And they have a whole list here of FTG and royalty must be scripted as well. Every table, every guest, every time. Can I start you off with an ice cold beer, top shelf margarita, fizzy soda? I personally recommend the vanilla Dr. Pepper fizzy soda. No, I just want to pop, thanks. Leave me alone. If children are present, offer fizzy sodas, bottomless root beer, or famous Oreo cookie magic. No, no. Don't put ideas in kids' heads. Maybe the parent just wants them to have water. Sorry. Would you like to start off with an onion ring tower or our new triple yum platter? Chips and queso is another favorite of mine. Entree. Our new pick two combos are so good and it's incredible value. My personal favorite is after each burger order. Would you like to make a patty and make it a double? No. If I wanted a double, I would have ordered a double to begin with. Would you like to add bacon, avocado, or grilled onions to your burger? Now that's a reasonable question. It's the first one we've seen. Our garlic fries are entirely. Would you like to upgrade to garlic fries or sweet potato fries? No, I would have asked you before meals are delivered. We have great local veterans gift card program before presenting the check. Can I tempt you with a slice of our decadent mud pie or chocolate covered? I can't read it because he's got it covered up before you go. Chocolate covered praline something or chocolate covered pretzel something. Um, that reminds me of the time a server told my dad that if he didn't get dessert, the check would be lonely. Don't do that. Don't do that. It's, caption: corporate sent us papers to keep in our aprons. If we don't follow the exact script, they threaten to withdraw tables from us and send us home. LOL, you're right. Central Mass Hole says this is one way to get out of side work. The card in the second highest commenter wrote, these corporate dudes have no idea that this fake stuff annoys the crap out of customers. It does. It does. Jill came tumbling. That's cute. Says, right? Like so robotic. Do people really like to be talked to like that? I'm for real trying to imagine. Yeah, no, don't do that. Don't do that. How are they going to know whether you did it or not? Ask people if they want a dessert. Sure. Ask people if they want to upgrade fries. I guess. The rest of it, don't give, no, especially the kids, don't give them ideas. Don't give them ideas. Oh, it's time for expectation versus reality. All right, my 3-year-old nephew asked for a donut car cake. I'm not at all a baker, but my sister and I made this. Okay, I don't know if this is the before or after. This is the after. This is amazing. If this is the after, let's find out. Maybe that's the before. It's usually the before. No. Absolutely not. No, that's not what he wanted. Oh, that's actually kind of awful. I'm sorry. It's cute in a way, but it does not look like the original at all. No. Just say no. Oh my goodness. Note he loved this cake, which is why I used the cake surprisingly met expectations flair. No, it did not. It did not. Doofcat says, look at hit or miss with 3-year-old. Donut car cake meets expectations. Visit to Disney World epic fail. Dog turd exceeded expectation. Oh, no, I would say that did not exceed expectation or even meet expectations. That was just it wasn't the same thing. It wasn't the same thing. Not even close. You need to sculpt the donuts in order to get the real thing. Okay, if you haven't already, please like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications. I try to go live at least 4 times a week, usually about noon Eastern time. Um, this week, I think I'm only going to do Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. Not positive Friday is going to happen at this point. Um, Lots of things going on this weekend, and we have to watch kids starting on Friday, and I don't know what time that's going to be. It might be all day. It might be like all day, overnight into Saturday, and who knows how long on Saturday. Good thing I love those kids. If you have a story of your own or come across one in the wild, please email us entitled submission at biddybrunchbunch, all one word, at gmail.com. If you would like an email link to the current day's live, send an email entitled subscribe. The email address is also in the description down below, so it's easy to find. And next week I'll be here all week. The next week I think is The next week after that is Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving week, I'm planning on taking most of the week off, if not all of it. I got to do some stuff. I'm not really cooking for Thanksgiving because we're going to my nephew's. Yay! Can't wait. It should be fun. So, next we have Zillow Gone Wild, and it's entitled "Former School Current Home for Sale in Rural Kansas for $400,000." I mean, I always kind of wanted to live in a school, so let's see what it is. I mean, it still looks like a school, but they sided it like a house, which is a choice, I guess. They just resided our middle school in town, and I hate it. It's ugly. That's a big house, man. It's a really big house. Well, that's cute. Big long, lots of seating. Holy cow, that's a lot of chairs. You could have a big party. The chairs all match, which is interesting. Don't they have birds? Big TV. TV too high. Have you seen TV? The subreddit TV too high? This is what this fits in. TV too high. That TV's way too high. And what's this? Don't they have a? We have a plug up here, maybe two. It's very nice. It makes it look very nice. Why is somebody standing over here? Oh shoot! I forgot to share it. What am I doing? What am I doing, you guys? Don't you yell at me? Okay. Sorry about that. I'll have to cut that out. So here's the ranch or the house, which they have sided like a house, but still has the school stuff. It's a choice. I don't think I would have done it this way personally. Usually the thing is all brick, so um this is looks like it's going to the dining room. All the chairs, lots of chairs. You can have a party in here. I don't know what this room is. It has a exercise equipment in it. That's also a choice, I guess. Here's the TV. It's way too high. What is this going on over here? Why is this hand, disembodied hand holding a remote? Oh my goodness. Um, this plug is ugly. I would have probably just unplugged the TV. And why are your cords looking like that? That's terrible. Terrible staging. Terrible. Stop it. Is that a real cat or is that a real cat or, or is that a stuffed cat? And they have little birdies. This is an interesting glass wall. It's not even full wall. Why did you do that? That seems silly to me. It's weird. Here we have a hallway that is a dining room. I mean, you have all the rooms in the world and you have to put your dining table in a hallway. Weird choice. This looks like it's a daycare. This looks like they were running a daycare out of it, which is fair. I mean, it is a school. What else are you going to do but run a daycare out of it? And the bedroom. You don't get any sense of where in the house that things are. Bathroom with two toilets. Do you really need two toilets? And a changing table. What the heck? More daycare stuff. Oh, maybe it's the daycare bathroom. Maybe it's the daycare bathroom. Is this part of the daycare? Because there's a little car back there, or is this private? Oh, I don't like that. Like, just build in a closet. Yeah, I don't like that at all. This is weird. The way it's set up to the door. No, I don't like that. I'm confused by it. A dining table in your whatever this is. Is there a bed? There is a dining table in your bedroom. That's a choice. That's a definite choice. Oh, that's the last one. Yeah, that's strange. People get strange decorating ideas, people. Very strange decorating ideas. Okay, well, the fun's over. Now we're going to am I overreacting? This is AIO if I file for divorce. And we have some text messages to share. And I believe this is OP. Um, your behavior has been off for a while, and I want your words to match your actions. I've always wanted that. I've asked for this repeatedly. You would want the same. And they answer, I don't think we should have gotten married. I don't think how I know you think that the way things have been, I don't disagree. You've made it perfectly clear you'll fight for yourself, you'll fight to win, but I've never seen you fight for us. You don't disagree? Your expectations of me are too high. I told you I'm going to change and you won't give me any time. 10 years. I had no idea what it meant. I didn't give you any time. Weird. My expectations are the bare minimum and they're too high. So you won't have a problem eating maybe once a week then, since the bare minimum is all that's needed. That's ridiculous and not the same at all. Food is needed for survival. So are other things, like having a spouse that actually wants to be with you. I wanted you to take care of me. I didn't know I'd have to take care of you. What? I'm trying to change my mindset. I wanted you to take care of me. I didn't know I'd have to take care of you. Dude, seriously? What is wrong with you? Not being manipulated, gaslighted, used as a maid, used as a prostitute, and hell of a lot more are needed for the longevity of a marriage. No, you are not. You talk a good game, but behavior is the only language I'm listening to now. I'm trying to change, but it's not easy. I think it's weird to be married to one woman for the rest of my life. Then you shouldn't have gotten married, sir. I sympathize with the gay men in straight marriages because they don't get to have everything they wanted, like I don't get to get what I really want. Trophy wife, physically and spiritually. The validation they would get from the public having such a beautiful, great wife. Well, yes, you are attractive. You are not a supermodel. It's hard to be with someone who isn't as good looking as I am. Oh my God, this guy. This needs to be in my the devil. It's hard to be with someone who isn't as good looking as I am. I think about it often. My life would be a lot easier if I was married to someone as good looking as I am. My gabbers are flaccid. I'm trying to change, but it's not easy. I think, oh, that's the same one. Okay. She just answers dot, 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 dot. I know I keep hurting you, and I'm sorry you feel hurt, but what else should I say? And she says, the truth. At least you finally gave me the courtesy of having your words match your actions. At least I can move on and move forward with what's true. Move on? Are you leaving me? Like, what? What? Is she leaving you? Why should she stay with you? You're better looking than her, sir. And it's captioned, I have felt the desire for divorce for quite some time now. But after learning how my husband really feels about me, I want to contact a divorce lawyer and file the paperwork soon. You should. He's been abusive in multiple ways since we met. Oh, hold on. I have felt the desire to file for divorce for quite some time now, but after learning how my husband really feels about me, I want to contact a divorce lawyer and file the paperwork soon. He's been abusive in multiple ways since we met. I've been going to therapy and learned I have a trauma bond with this man. I want to know if this marriage can possibly be salvaged or if it's my trauma bond thinking and we just need to be done. No, you need to be done. You need to be done. This is not a good person. Edit to clear up the most common comments I see. Yes, my husband is objectively attractive. He's been a model. 910, I don't know. I don't see him as an attractive person anymore, but it's easy to see how often women come up to him, flirt, ask for his number, etc. I don't want to post a picture of him. I think if people Google searched his face, they might trace this post back to me. I'm unsure, but I don't want to take that chance. You don't need to post his face, honey. Beauty is only skin deep. No, we don't have kids. Thank goodness. I've learned that I'm trauma bonded with him thanks to therapy. I'm breaking free of it and him. But trauma bonding is complex, and I've only recently broken free of the panic attacks that come as a result of just not sleeping in the same bed as him. This post was for some validation. I feel like I'm losing my mind for the last 3 years at least, possibly longer, as much as I can remember. And while my family knows some of the abuse, only one family member knows it's this bad, and she wants him institutionalized. Whether you believe it's fake or not, reading all the comments and receiving the messages that this is indeed psycho is helping me. For those who have given me these encouraging comments, messages, thank you so much. And for those who insist it's fake, it's okay. Not overreacting. Definitely not overreacting. This is from Honestly Sis. Nah. That's a perfect name. That's a perfect name for this. NOR, definitely divorce. Here, at least to me, your partner is clearly saying that he wanted a trophy wife that he doesn't have to take care of. That already shows that he doesn't see an actual partnership. He will not give you the support or affection you would be looking for. Then, when you call him out on things, he immediately gets upset and disregards you. This is a man who wants his ego stroked and wants to give nothing in return. Very strange behavior. I think he married you assuming he would have to do absolutely nothing to maintain the marriage. Yeah, he thinks he's good looking enough that he doesn't have to do anything for her at all because he's so good looking, he deserves it all. Ugh. Also, he wants validation and puts you down for not meeting his crazy standards. It sounds like he has zero confidence and not getting what he wants is okay to throw a temper tantrum. He needs to develop more. I know it's hard, but talk to someone professional, get good support group of friends or people you trust and leave him. Trauma bonding is not the best bond, and if you stay, you'll repeat the cycle of feeling unloved, and then someday you might not even start to believe that you don't deserve more. Get the divorce, start loving yourself right away. You got this. Thank you, honestly, sis. Nah. Megasaurus Rex says, right? He says her standards are too high and then goes, you need to be a supermodel to take care of me and never want anything in return. Ha ha ha. WTF, this man is delusional. Yeah, he is. He's crazy. No. Kick him to the curb. Kick him to the curb. All right. So, this is from Traumatize Them Back. New doctor wouldn't allow my repeat prescription. And it's flared petty revenge. Without going into too much detail, I died a few years ago. A&E, woo-woo ambulance, restus unit, the lot. I was then put on life-sustaining medication, which is absolutely critical to keep me alive day to day. Cue the new doctor at my doctor's surgery, deciding out of the blue that he wants to review my medication and that he won't approve my prescription refill. I have precisely 3 days left of medication. So the fact that they called the doctor's office a surgery is he's probably overseas. So I call a bit frantic, book an appointment, and go on that day and ask him to please prescribe my medication. He is concerned about the high dosage and thinks we need to go back to the specialist. Until we do, he won't re-prescribe. That is not how medicine works. The soonest appointment with a specialist is 6 months. I try explaining that, but he's not listening. I'll need that in writing with a signature then, he asked, because it's less than 72 hours. The mortician will have to explain to my family who made that call. Funnily enough, he was suddenly happy to sign for a refill and hasn't tried to push it since. A-hole. I also did call the specialist. She wrote a scathing email and she CC'd me and the head of practice into. He kept his job, but he'll never make that mistake again. Ginger Mamra says, you know how whenever you have a new mechanic, plumber, or electrician, they will shake their head and criticize the work of the previous one? Some doctors have the same I know better mentality. Okay, and that's fine if they want to recheck it, but you still need the prescription in the meantime. That reminded me of a little story where I used to work. Um, we had a banquet hall. It used to be a lodge where people like Ford and Edison hung out. And so the guy was doing some electrical work, and he says, I cannot figure out who did the electrical in this place. It's a mess. I said, well, it was done by Edison. It was done by Edison. What did you expect? He was the first one to ever do it. Okay, my husband was on kidney dialysis for years without any problems. Traveling anywhere was difficult to coordinate, but after 4 years at home, we tried taking a 2 week holiday. In order to receive dialysis in another city, you have to submit a scheduling request to meet with a local specialist. Before his first away dialysis appointment, that local specialist reviewed my husband's chart, tutted, scribbled something, and said, your numbers look all wrong. I've made some changes. That doesn't sound good. My husband felt weak and tired after that first treatment, but we thought he was just worn out from the trip. By the second dialysis treatment, 2 days later, he was so shaky he nearly collapsed in front of the clinic. The technicians asked a few questions, checked the charts, made urgent call to the specialist, and soon put the numbers back the way they were. My husband felt much better a few hours later. Lesson learned all around, I hope. Yeah, don't mess with trust your colleague. Trust your colleague that they're doing the right thing. Don't mess with it for temporary reasons. That's silly. Deer. There's a deer outside. I think it's just one of my girls. This is from our confession or slash confession. That's it. I'm over it. I'm removing my hijab for a day as vengeance. My dad forced me since I was a little to wear a hijab. I was okay with it until 15, 16, when both my parents did just the worst crap to me. Growing up, I had to be dependent of my dad. If he came up with a new info from school, my dad would be mad because he wasn't the one teaching it to me. I couldn't work until now. I'm 21. Just so I couldn't feel like I can make money myself. He'd basically say it's haram for me working or whatever. I'll fall into debt like, nah, I'm just trying to be a normal adult. I don't want to look at anyone beside everyone buying stuff while I have to wait for my mom to buy me clothes or whatever. She's 21 and her mommy's still buying her clothes. That's sad. I can't have friends because that's haram. He's scared that I'll get influenced and yap too much to these friends about my life and they'll tell me it's weird or whatever. Well, yeah, because it's weird or whatever. Guys, I tried to be in my religion, but imagine anytime you really feel like your faith is getting better and there's someone yelling at me, did you pray? I don't believe you. Do it, infant of me again, when you actually did. He even said you need to tell me when your period date so I can see if you're praying really or not. As Muslims, you do not pray when you have your period. Didn't know that. Because you're dirty. It's all misogynistic BS. Like, it's just weird. Even my mom doesn't ask me that. I cannot go out since I was little, even until now. Tomorrow, out for a job. I'm looking out for a job. I have an interview, and I'll do it without my hijab because I don't care anymore. There's too much I'm leaving out for length purposes. But it's really over. I'm done trying with my religion, and faith was already too late. Now every little hope is crushed by that man. Whole face coming in for real. Okay, don't go overboard, kidlet. Don't go overboard, but your dad's a creep. Your dad's a creep. He's a jerk. He's not a good dad. Yeah, dad's a creep. That is abusive. That is very abusive. The next one is from Am I the A-hole? AITA for asking my coworker why my coworker wears makeup every day. Yeah, it's none of your business. It's her personal face. She can wear makeup if she wants. Notice I do not have makeup on. I don't wear makeup. Most women wear makeup every day. Howdy, howdy. Never posted here. Throwaway account. Yada yada yada. So I, 29 male, was at work during a pretty long meeting with a few other coworkers. One of my coworkers is new, late 30s female, and the conversation steered around our professional experiences and history. Pretty standard, I guess. Midway through reviewing some boring stuff, this coworker asked me with a wink, "Can I ask you a question?" Since we were talking about our professional lives, I said, "Sure, what's up?" She followed up with, "Do you always wear hats?" And I'll be honest, I'm bald at 29. That's hard. However, I like my baldness. I started balding at 21. I was like, F that, and just shaved it off instead of trying to style my hair in a way to hide it. So since my hair is super curly and compact, it just wasn't going to be an option. In college, people loved it and said I had a good head shape and looked like Terry Crews, Shaquille O'Neal, or The Rock. Not sure about that last one, lol. Not sure about the first one either. So I was pretty confident with it. But when I turned 25, I started being mistaken for 30 because of the bald cut. So I started wearing hats pretty much everywhere. Grew a collection for all situations: work, gym, social life, anywhere besides weddings and funerals, to be honest. And with hats at on at 29, I've been mistaken to be as young as 22. Not the goal, but yeah. The plan was to wear them until 30 and then cut back when my head matched my age. Anyway, this coworker asked, "Why do you wear hats every day?" To be fair, it's a corporate setting, but it's also tech. We're in a meeting, we're in marketing, and it's 2025, so smart casual is the rule of thumb. And my bosses don't care and dress in hoodies and hats to go to work some days. Tech and marketing. GM, if you're in tech, you don't wear even business casual. You just wear jeans and a shirt, unless the big boss is coming in, and then you dress up for Mary Berry. I responded, "I like hats," and she said, "But every day?" So I said, "Yeah, I'm bald. Like my head shape. I like my head shape, but I don't want to look like I'm 35, so I'll wear hats for now. Plus, I look good in them." Now, I wasn't thinking she's probably around 35 age or so. So maybe I offended her with that, but she sighed, 29 and wearing hats every day to hide. Wow. This like does not sound nice. And so now I'm not mad that you asked her if she wears makeup every day. This struck a nerve with me, so I responded, "Well, since joining, I've seen you wear makeup every day, even casual Fridays on your work from home team calls. So why do you wear makeup every day?" There was a muffled giggle, but it's clear the atmosphere was tense. Somebody appreciated that. Somebody knew this woman and appreciated that. She got heated and said, "That's a sexist question." I said, "How? Other women in the office don't wear makeup every day. And my boyfriend sometimes wears makeup when we go out to a high class event. He just doesn't do it every day. So why do you wear makeup every day?" She got heated and silent, and one of the other coworkers went back to focusing on the deck. I feel like her and I not on the best of terms now, and she will not talk to me now. Good. You don't need to talk to her. So am I the a-hole for asking why my coworker wears makeup every day? No. No, she was a jerk for insisting on knowing why you wear hats every day. Like she can't tell you don't have hair. And it's your head. You can wear what you want on it. Everyone sucks here. She was being inappropriate, but you were at work. The way to come out of that interaction in the clear is to say something like, "Interesting as it is, I think we've talked about my hat enough for today. What's everybody doing on the weekend?" Not to be equally weird to prove a point. There's no air horns. Nobody's going to clap. Curious Compote says nobody's going to clap is something people should remind themselves before opening their mouths 80% of the time. No, people clap every time I open my mouth. Kidding. All right. Yeah. No, you're not the a-hole for that. And of course, I don't work here, lady. It's deleted. And I don't feel like going looking for another one. And this is from Overheard, which is another news subreddit. Overheard a group of college girls at a restaurant. Girl 1. People are always surprised about how much my education costs. Girl 2. Why? Girl 3. Because it's $16,000 a quarter. Girl 3. That's like over $60,000 a year, right? Oh my God. Girl one, yeah, but my parents are paying for it. Girl two, that's cool though. Girl one, you have to invest in yourself. If you ever want to break into the 30 an hour threshold in the workplace, you need to go to the best schools and get a better degree than the others. No, you don't. My son didn't get a degree and he's making over $30,000. He started at his job now, making $30,000. Girl one and two both look defeated at this point and go back to eating. Waitress to girl one, are you ready to order? Girl one with an attitude for some reason. I'll just stick to my water, thank you. 16,000 a quarter. I don't think that's $60,000. Hold on. Calculator, thank you. That's four. That's $64,000. I can't do math, clearly. Yeah, 60,000 a year is a lot. Where's she going to school? Harvard? Nazi eat my butt. Doesn't say butt. When I started at USCD in '01, it was like 1,600 a quarter. When I went back in '09 to '12, it was over $1,000 a quarter. And I was supposed to immediately have a median income of $60,000 right out of college. My first job was a temp job for $13 an hour, 26K. We're ushered towards college all through school, and it's literally told to top students that it's the absolute best thing for you out of high school. The fact is, prices are outrageous, and the pay isn't there at the fault of isn't the fault of the youth. That's true. I started few piglets said I started USCD, UCSD, sorry, in 1985. And if I'm remembering right, it was about $400 a quarter. I did the math of college fees versus minimum wage in 1985 and 2025. And it's almost three times the cost to go to US, UCSD now. Yeah, it is. The cost of college has gotten outrageous. When I went to college, also in the 80s, um, you could pay for college with a part-time job, pay for full college, books, tuition, everything with a part-time job at McDonald's. You can't do that anymore. I mean, they do feed you better now. You lost so much. The freshman 15, we didn't have that in my college. We didn't have that in my college because everybody lost weight because the food was so bad the first like year and a half I was there. It was a 2-year college. So, um that last semester the food got the previous chef got fired, and one of the lunch ladies took over. Her food was real good. We all gained about 5 pounds that semester. But yeah, I lost so much weight. I was like 90 pounds when I got out of that school. That didn't last long. All right. Our next read is from True Off My Chest. My mom keeps setting a dinner plate for my dad, even though he passed away 9 months ago. He died of a sudden heart attack last December. They've been married 36 years. Every Sunday, she makes dinner like she always did, roast chicken, mashed potatoes, the works. And every Sunday, they still plate at the table for him. At first, I tried to gently tell her maybe she shouldn't keep doing it. She said, he ate at this table every Sunday for half my life. It feels wrong to stop. So now I just let her. We eat around it. No one touches it. Sometimes she talks to him while she's serving food. I used to think it was unhealthy, but now it's just love that hasn't figured out where to go yet. It breaks me every week, but it's also the closest I've ever been to see her ever seen her too peaceful. Oh, I remember setting the table after my grandfather died and setting an extra plate. And right before he died, my parents split up, so it was really, really hard. We actually set two extra plates because we were just used to that many people. And we broke almost a whole set of plates just from nerves. One or the other of us would be cleaning up after lunch and a plate would fall. Went through a whole set of plates. It was bad. The nerves were bad. We were just kids. I was the oldest one. I was only 16. Albany Barbie doll says there was a lady in our church who saved a seat for her deceased husband for years. No matter how crowded the services were, her seat and his was right up front, and she had a huge purse she'd set on his chair. Eventually, no one tried to get her to move, At her funeral, there was a seat for him right up front. They were a pair of oddballs, but they loved each other. And somebody answers that, "Why are you making me cry for telling us about the same seat at her funeral?" People love each other sometimes. People really actually love each other. Um, I can't pronounce that one either. Queen Victoria famously laid out her husband's clothes daily for like 40 years after he died. It was hard to let go. Um, if you're familiar with Burns and Allen, George Burns and Gracie Allen, they were a comedy duo from the 20s until the 50s, 60s, until shortly before she died. They had a really early TV show. That was going to be my podcast that I was going to do that never came to fruition. Um, he was 30 when they got together. They were married for 30 years before she passed away. She had a congenital heart defect and passed away. And he visited her grave for the rest of his life at least once a month. After he couldn't drive, his staff would take him. And he was famous after she died of always having young, like 20, 30-year-old girls hanging on his arms everywhere he went. I don't know why he wasn't even that good looking. But he was funny, and that can make up for a lot. Okay. Um, Here is a "What do I do? What do I even do?" is its title. There's this cute little hammy. It's so cute. Look at the little hammy. Isn't he cute? Not sure he should be eating that, but he's so cute. My daughter always had hamsters. One of them has an Instagram if you want to go see it. Oh my gosh, sorry. Okay, there we go. Hello, everyone. I've never posted something like this before, but I'm desperate for answers. This was my very first hammy, Elvis. I had him for about a year, but before I had adopted him, I did a ton of research so I could care for him best as I could. Now, recently, I noticed he wasn't eating or drinking as much as he used to and wasn't active during the day or at night as he usually was. Worried, I took him to the walk-in pet clinic, and the vet told the vet what was worrying me. She took Elvis to a small room to wait for the actual doctor to help. I waited in my car. Waiting room was small and full. I received a phone call roughly 20-ish minutes later saying Elvis had passed away. I asked what happened, and she told me that seconds after they laid my hammy on his back for an x-ray, he passed away. Of course, I started sobbing as I loved Elvis beyond words, but since then, the whole thing doesn't sit right with me. It doesn't make any sense to me. Her answer to what happened seems off, and I'm not sure what to do for here. I feel so life. What should I do? Um, I'm pretty sure that that's probably just what happened. Hamster was probably a little older than you thought he was. Very cute. And he just passed away. Hamsters are disposable pets, as we used to call them. You have them for a couple of years and they pass away. That's just the nature of having a hamster. You're always replacing them. This one's just telling her to press them for answers. Like, he's a hamster. They don't know what happened. I really wish they could have given me a proper answer, but they didn't. No, they did. They told you what happened. Tom C says, I work with mice. Sometimes our mice pass away when we want to scan them. It's not common, but it happens. Most of the time, it happens when the animal is already weak from a disease and cannot handle the anesthesia. To perform an x ray on Elvis, they had to anesthetize it. He probably was not strong enough to handle it. Yeah. Yep, that's probably true. Poor Elvis. Rest in peace. I hope we don't see him walking around, if you know what I mean. Our next subreddit is entitled Parents, entitled Tourists Get Mad. I swore at them in front of their child after they followed and harassed me and my cat on a walk in Reykjavik. To preface this, I live in Iceland. That's fun. My best friend's son has been to Iceland and he really, really enjoyed it. He backpacked and thumbed rides from people. And I guess they're just the nicest people there. To preface this, I live in Iceland. During this time, I lived in downtown Reykjavik, which I'm probably pronouncing wrong, but that's as close as I can get right now. There are a lot of tourists in that area daily. A lot of them can be entitled and roots towards locals and treat us like a zoo, as if we're in the way somehow by being there and living our lives, although they're posing for photos right in the middle of where people are walking or where cars are driving. I know exactly what this lady's talking about. I grew up in a tourist area, and tourists are the worst, especially if they're from Chicago. Nah, I don't know that. They could be worse somewhere else, but Chicago ones are like, they walk down the middle of the road like they own it. Like, just because this is not a street in Chicago doesn't mean you get to walk down the middle of the road. The road is for cars. Thousands of tourists are going to a beach that is closed off with a bunch of warning signs. Some of them with red flashing lights to warn people not to get close to the water or go in there at all, and climbing over rocks to go past fences that are there for their safety just to pose in front of the waves and put their life or their children's lives that have no say in this and are innocent in all of this at no risk for reason other than a photo opportunity. This is probably common in other places with a lot of tourists. I'm just trying to explain our point of view as people who live here and need to live our lives around this type of entitled behavior on an almost daily basis, especially when you live downtown Reykjavik. Um, Now that kind of stuff happens everywhere. That there is any kind of large body of water is people who have never been around a large body of water, and I'm talking about the Great Lakes specifically for us, do not know how to act. And when they're told not to go in the water because the riptide will get you, they go in the water and the riptide gets them and they end up not alive. So don't be stupid around water. It is a very powerful force. During this day, I was walking my cat on a leash downtown, and we had been stopped multiple times by tourists asking if they could pet her, which I don't mind, but I always just tell them to go ahead unless my cat clearly doesn't want to be pet. Why would you stop someone in the middle of the street and ask to pet their pet? That's silly. I always thank them for asking, though, and for respecting my cat that way. So she wasn't in the mood to be pet on the way back home after being stopped so many times. On our way back home, we were walking up and literally unpronounceable name. I'm not even trying it. It's really long. I can barely do Reykjavik. And we were right at the bottom by the Rainbow Street when I hear an American accent very closely behind me saying, "Are you going to go ahead and pet the kitty? Go ahead, pet the kitty." No, we don't do that. In a way that they were clearly talking to a child. I turned around, I see a child walking ahead of their family going for my cat. The child tries to grab my cat, but I step in between and kindly say no, that my cat doesn't want to be pet right now. I move closer to the wall and make room for the family to pass us by. We get a bit further up the street and the family slows down and we pass them. I had headphones on, but I have them only over one ear, so I'm still able to hear my surroundings. So I hear them again pushing their kid to go and pet my cat once they're behind me. I kindly say no and make room for them to pass in front of us. But they don't go. They stay behind us, keep asking their kids, "Are you going to pet the kitty?" in a sing song voice. They follow us around for 10 minutes up the street, and I continuously had to tell them no and step between them and my cat. And I picked her periodically up while we waited for them to leave, but I let her go down on the ground again because she wanted to walk herself since she knew the route home. We passed them once again after they stopped walking for no apparent reason, and the kid runs up from behind us and grabs my cat's tail, and she hisses at him and gives a warning scratches in the air. She didn't scratch him or bite him or anything like that, but she was giving her clear warning signs. I once again step in between them and pick up my cat and ask the parents to get your effing kid. Then tell them to leave us alone and stop harassing us and following us. I told them that I gave multiple opportunities to go ahead of this, but they kept stopping for no reason, just to get behind us to continue letting their kid try and grab my cat. So they are harassing us at that point. The parents deny trying didn't deny harassing us or following us, and the only thing that stuck with them was the fact that I swore in front of their kid. Like the kid hasn't heard that before. Which means that they are now yelling at me for swearing and they get in my face for some reason. I simply tell them that I wouldn't have to swear if they had listened to me the last 10 minutes, kindly telling them no and asking them to leave us alone when I still had patience before they actually let their kid physically grab my cat's tail without doing anything to stop him. I'm still holding my cat, so I just walk away and tried to hold my cat the rest of the walk home, which at this point is maybe 5 more minutes. No, you do not touch a cat without permission. These parents are weird, even for Americans. I'm an American. I know how weird they are. They luckily didn't follow us the rest of the way home, but I was fuming the rest of the walk. We have been in situations where people get mad if I could said my cat doesn't want to be pet that exact moment. People have tried to pick up my cat without permission, and we have had things shouted to us, but it was another level of entitlement, in my opinion, compared to the people we had encountered before this. I didn't blow up at them or say anything, so maybe this isn't juicy enough for some people or satisfying enough ending or conclusion to the story. But this is what happened. I don't blame the kids since their parents were telling them to pet my cat, but I do blame the parents for clearly not respecting boundaries and for acting as if being told no doesn't apply to them. No, you shouldn't blame the kid. The kid has terrible parents. Blame the parents. Just please, if you're traveling to other countries, respect the locals, and if you travel to Iceland, then pro tip, respect the nature as well as the locals because they're getting so tired of entitled tourists that come here and don't show respect to anyone or anyone. Oh, I'm sorry that happened, OP, and it should not have happened, and those people were very wrong. This one is Bye Bye Job. White supremacist fired from school district for free speech. And this is from Daniel Concannon. Fired from school district for free speech. This week I was fired from Shaker Regional School District in New Hampshire for free speech unrelated to work in the form of my social media, highlighting anti white hate in society and offering related social and media political commentary. That's it. I didn't do anything remotely wrong in the workplace. No. This is my long-standing professional track record of 12 plus years in the in education spotless. Yes. Do I object to the anti-white hate and societal decay on social media? Guilty as charged. Anti-white hate. This guy's a white supremacist. This is insane. This isn't the private sector. This is a government job. A government that is supposed to protect the First Amendment and should not be able to fire an employee for First Amendment protected activity conducted in the public square having nothing to do with that job. But here we are. So sue him. Sue him. See where I get you. I bet you don't get you very far. You may know me for my much publicized 2021 battle with Manchester School District, which I objected to their anti-white SPLC authored white privilege training, or from the social media presence I've maintained since that event. So apparently this guy has a track record and his education his years in education are not in fact spotless. At that time I vowed to stand against the rampant anti-white hate that plagues our society. Hold it up to the light and spotlight those who are responsible for it. For more than 4 years, that's exactly what I've done. Going public in 2021, I knew that I was making my own life much more difficult, but integrity dictated what I had to do. To say for the last 4 years it haven't been easy would be the understatement of a lifetime. I never detailed just how much was sacrificed or the opportunities that were lost. Um, Free speech only means that the government cannot put you in jail for your free speech. It does not mean that there are not consequences to your free speech. I don't dwell on the ongoing struggles of the years of blacklisting, deplatforming, censorship, and threats that have come along with this stand. Doing what I did literally cost me everything. Good. And I do it again. Okay. Stop complaining about it then. Life would be much easier if I stopped doing this right now, but I won't. Well, that's on you, dude. That is on you. Because this matters too much, no one wants to hear a sob story, so I'll cut it off there. But I won't have my tongue cut out for the sake of any job. This recently begun school year, I re entered the education field and took a position with Shaker Regional School District. I actually worked for Shaker Regional out of college and had a great experience before moving on. You mean before you were a white supremacist or before you were an open white supremacist? This time around, however, I have been shown the door for what you can see with your own eyes on my social media. Well, you'll find no lies, no slander, nothing that is even controversial. Sure, right. Except those who are independent, who are easily offended by reality. Whose reality? And as a Shaker Regional School District has proven here, there's a whole lot of people who are easily offended by reality. Many of them are employers. Faced with this predicament, I've launched this fundraiser for anyone who wants to offer support. It shouldn't be like this. It shouldn't be this costly to say true things to the United States of America, to stand up for ourselves on the basis upon which we're attacked. But this is how it is for now, until enough of us stand up to turn the tide. Thank you for everything, blah, 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 blah. I'm not reading the rest of that crap. Um, oh, so sorry. So sorry you lost your job. I'm willing to bet this wasn't out of the blue. I'm willing to bet that they've asked you numerous times to shut the F up, and you haven't. Consequences of your own actions. That could be an oh no consequences. Oh, speaking of which, oh no consequences. OOP grossly mismanages the employees and gets fired. Last update is hopeful at least. This is from Best of Redditor Updates. Ask Originally ask a manager, is the work environment I've created on my team too exclusive? Yes, it is. Yes, yes, it is. Okay. I will check the trigger warnings just in case. Okay, no big deal. Is the work environment I've created for a team too exclusive? July 25th, 2017. I'm writing this question based on feedback I received from an exit interview. A woman in her mid 30s left my department after a little over a year. When giving her notice, she commented that she was taking a job closer to home, 10-hour commute each way some days, and had to go back to a position closer to her original line of work. Her senior team members were sad to see her go. HR sent me the results of her exit interview and wanted to discuss the cultural problems in my department. On the exit interview, the former employee mentioned that my staff leaves at lunch 1 day per week to go to a brewery for a beer run, which is true. I allow this. So you allow them to drink on the job, essentially. And she was often the only team member in the office. Her fellow associates were unwilling to assist her and spent time on social media, such as Snapchat, creating an exclusive environment. She was more quiet, older than the 20 somethings in the position, and not so much into social media. And that interdepartmental relationships created power dynamics that ruined morale. One of my newly promoted seniors was sleeping with an associate, and it was not noticed by me or any of the other executives. Well, that's interesting. I don't feel like this is a cultural issue. I think this is her not being a good fit for our team. I do allow my staff to go to breweries as long as they have coverage. I encourage my staff to be friends in and outside of work, and I cannot monitor relationships. At no point did the employee bring this to my attention during our informal one on ones. She was extremely quiet and kept to herself, and she didn't mingle with the team because of her commute and commitments she had. She's married with a kid and had recently bought a house. Am I wrong, or is the former employee just out of touch with how a team of professional millennials works? Allison's reply. Okay, that's weird. All right, I'll get that. Um, Apparently this was from some kind of ask, you know, Abby or something like that. The OOP provided more details in the comments, and you decide if it makes her seem like a better manager. Oh, this is a woman. There was more to this that came out after she left. Her coworkers in her pod had taken pictures of her and captioned them inappropriately on Snapchat, making fun of her weight, her clothes style, how much water she drank. Someone who had seen them had saved them all and complained to HR. When I found out who complained, I want to move them to another team. Instead of disciplining your own staff, you want to uh we are an insurance/brokerage firm as part of a larger Fortune 500 company. The brewery was owned by a company whose business we are trying to attract. No one ever asked her, but just assumed she would cover for them because she had made statements that she wasn't a drinker anyway. Well, that's rude. The associates sleeping with one another was knowledge across the team by that point, but not to me. They did work in the same account, so they were reporting to one another. I am 28 and this is my first management job. You're too young to be a manager. I want to build a team that would work well with me and share my ideas of a good time. So work is fun. I knew she would have been like this, I would have pushed back on my director not to hire her in favor of someone younger. But she had a fantastic background that wowed my higher ups. Yeah, and you ruined it for the higher ups. Your higher ups need to demote you because you are not a good manager. You are not a good manager at all. First update, August 2nd. So the next month, about 2 weeks later, 2017. I was fired today without severance. Shocker. When my letter was published, I was already on suspension based on the exit interview investigation. Poor management practice. We only have 3 more after this. It'll be fine. Poor management practices and complaints from other areas, none of which I believe are accurate. HR and the management team I stated I had mismanaged my team and the ex-employee. I had given assignments meant for her and assigned to her by my director to other members of the team because I wanted to develop them. You don't do that. If your director does something, it's not your prerogative to change everything around, including my newly promoted senior. As a manager, I knew my team better. That has nothing to do with it. Giving special assignments to her, even though it was her role, screwed over my long term team members who would complain to me. I had also downgraded her end of year evaluation. I don't think she deserved the praise she received from the sales staff, my director, and client executives. Her work just wasn't that good to me. No, you just don't know what you're doing. I thought if my team and I froze her out, she would leave. I called it unmanaging. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I can't even with this girl. My team found her quietness and her ability to develop sales presentations and connect with every client very show off like. She wasn't showing off, she was doing her frickin' job. When she asked for help, we didn't take it seriously because we thought she acted like she knew everything and was making us look bad by always going above and beyond for no reason. You should always be going above and beyond at a job. Hello. My team and I had worked together for 5 or 6 years, so I knew them and their work and their personalities better than anyone else, so I took what they said with more seriousness. You just screwed up. You just screwed up royal, dude. I also thought that her years of experience were irrelevant. She didn't have anything beyond a bachelor's degree, and most of us were smart and dedicated enough to get a master's. A bachelor's degree plus experience equals a master's degree. Read at like almost any job opening, and it says that. And her experience was in a different subset of insurance. Well, that shouldn't matter. My HR and my regional vice president stated she had been hired to fill a role for a growing segment of our business and should have functioned as a team consultant. I used her as an associate so it didn't make waves with the rest of the team. By losing her, we lost clients and leverage in the marketplace. Our sales territory couldn't afford to lose any more business under my mismanagement. I don't know why that's in quotes, ma'am. And the HR was worried about damage to the brand name. During her employment, my director and I had several meetings on her role, as she also dotted line reported to him. So she was reporting to your director and you were trying to manage her? Sounds like a situation I've been in. I continued to be insubordinate because ex-employee, in my opinion, didn't fit and needed to earn her way into what my director had envisioned for her. No, your director envisioned that for her, and that's what her job should have been. If her role had panned out, she would have been higher up than me 2 years after 2 years when I had been there for 5. Oh, and you're also bitter. HR told me the brewery beer runs were against company policy and should have stopped the Snapchats, yes, especially those who had it on their company phones. I disagree that it was bullying because she wasn't on Snapchat. She didn't see it. How's this bullying? because you were making fun of her, your teammates. You were allowing your team to make fun of another employee. Whether the other employee is aware of it or not, that's still bullying. I also don't know how if I should have monitored this with my team. My entire team was fired. You didn't just get yourself fired, you got other people unemployed. You should be ashamed of yourself. The reasons for the firings included alcohol at work, even though they were physically at the brewery, inappropriate social media behavior, not meeting the code of conduct. I'm sure the lesson I'm supposed to learn. I feel like I was a scapegoat. I'm not sure the lesson I was supposed to learn. Really? I feel like I was a scapegoat for favored employees' reason to leave. Being dedicated to your work doesn't mean you can't have fun at the same time. My former team and I are wondering if we can take action against ex-employee. Her exit interview damaged our reputation, our team, and our careers. Probably not, because she probably didn't lie about anything. So no. Allison also provided some of the email exchange between her and OOP with the letter writer OOP's permission. Edit. I originally posted the exchange but removed it because I'm not sure if it was okay to post. It's still that weird. It's still on the website. Allison posted some of her email exchange with the OOP and the letter writer, me, Allison. I'm sorry to ask you this, but I'm trying to figure out if this is real or not. There is a lot in here that's making me question it. You haven't responded to any of the points brought up in my original answer or the comments. Why? Letter LW, because I disagree with your points and I don't want to constantly defend myself. My ex-employee made me look bad, and I thought that ask a manager, you would side with a manager. I still think my entire okay, so Allison is the original poster in the Reddit thread, and letter writer is the person that got fired. Me. Okay. Letter writer, because I disagree with your points and I don't want to constantly defend myself. My ex-employee made me look bad, and I thought as a ask the manager, you would side with the manager. They're supposed to side with the manager even when the manager's wrong. I still think my entire situation is messed up that my team got tanked because of someone who couldn't handle the office and who didn't need to be there anyway. I get that I'm a crappy manager unless you actually worked for me, but I worked with friends for 5 years. I didn't want the ex-employee to begin with, so I wanted to make it uncomfortable for her and didn't think I'd lose my job in the process. Well, what do you think was going to happen, Chicky? You can't force somebody out, a productive employee out of a job without having some consequences. So Allison says, do you not understand what you did was illegal? No, when I wrote this, I was thinking the employee was in her 40s, which would mean age discrimination laws were in place. Upon reading the letter, she's actually in my 30s, so my point was poorly formed. Letter writer, bad manager. We'll call it bad manager. Bad manager says is it illegal not to like someone? No, it's not illegal not to like someone. It is illegal to fire someone just because you don't like them. No one got hurt except for someone's feelings, and she left the company. I don't understand what or how I did was illegal. I'm not getting the lesson that I should have learned. I should not have been fired because someone didn't like how she was being managed. She was being managed poorly, yeah. She left on her own terms. It's not like I fired her, or if I did, I work in a will state, so I could have gotten rid of her at any time, but I'm not that mean. Even at will states, you have to abide by laws. And if your supervisor didn't want her fired, you would have still been fired for firing her, even though you were legally could. Me, it's illegal to retaliate against someone, like moving them to another department or taking them off assignments, etc., for reporting harassment. You opened your company up to legal jeopardy. At will employment has exceptions to it, including retaliation after someone reports harassment. Beyond that, you have been managing your team really horribly, ineffective ways, and it sounds like you're not willing to do serious reflection on that. You're digging in your heels and insisting that what you did wasn't a big deal, but any decent company will think it's a big deal. So you're really hurting yourself professionally by refusing to change your thinking. Bad manager. I didn't retaliate. Yes, you did. I wanted to remove the Snapchat person, but I didn't. I still I'm still upset that it happened. I still don't understand why getting angry over someone not coming with to me at first, but going to HR is that big of a deal. Allison says there are a lot of really good detailed explanations in the comment section on the post. I recommend reading them with an open mind because they will definitely explain to you where you went wrong. I hope you are open to changing your thinking so that you're able to move forward in your career without being hindered by this. Otherwise, it's going to continue to harm you over and over. Band manager. Okay, but I can still get some credit for not doing it though, or not or not firing ex-employee, or looking out for my team and giving them opportunities. Isn't that what managers do? No OP, no credit for you. Second update, October 17, 2017. I wanted to provide an update. I spent August and the first half of September attending some pretty intensive therapy, which was beneficial. In therapy, I learned how to deal with people who challenged my past comfort zone. It also made me step back and realize that I don't ever want to manage again and that my personality is not one suited for management. I also had the opportunity to step back and review my behavior. I was self-destructed in the workplace, and those behaviors rubbed off on my team as my team members were younger and more impressionable. I plan to continue individual therapy. I did get a new job. I started a position in marketing, which is what my degree is in. It's a few steps above entry level in a small firm while I'll be under more supervision. I'm excited to move on from my mistakes. Thank you to you and your readers for your advice. While the comments were harsh, I took the time to read them a few times over throughout the course of therapy. It's tough to hear how much people think you suck, but it helped me get back on track. I wish you and your readers the best for the remainder of 2017 and beyond. I mean, that's hopeful at least. Uh, First comment is, damn, this guy's digging his heels all the way to hell the way he double and triple and quadruples down. Gamer Girl says at least the update was hopeful. Sounds like they got some help and realized how awful they were being. And someone answers that. I wonder if that came before or after they got knocked back for management roles after being fired. I suspect it was discovering they couldn't get hired that led to it, rather than just deciding they didn't want to be a manager. Yeah, that person. I thought they were a girl. Oh, I could be wrong. Yeah, that's terrible. Terrible. Awful. No good, very bad manager. Next we have mildly infuriating. On my way to Europe for 3 weeks, I realized at the airport I forgot to put on my shoes. He's gonna walk around Europe like this for the next 3 weeks. Oh, that poor guy. Poor guy. That's crazy. Yeah, that's mildly infuriating. I often forget to change clothes sometimes when my kids are coming over. I live in New Jersey, and I took my wife and kids to Baltimore for a restaurant food show industry thing, and to the aquarium. I got out of the car at a rest stop and realized I had my Santa themed Crocs on, and it was February. Oh, super cute. Roar says that's hilarious. Hmm. Somebody says it figures because January and February are Santa's months off. It's back to work in March. Oh. Sevas Natas says, if it makes you feel better, when I was a teenager, I lived in Brazil for a few years. Flew to England to visit family at one point. I was wearing a t-shirt, shorts, and flip-flops because it's Brazil. The temp where I was living never got dropped below 70 degrees. My layover was in Brussels in January and they parked on the tarmac. I realized my mistake and the flight attendant says the current local temperature is 0 degrees, which means it was freezing. I opened the doors to let everyone walk down the stairs and get in a shuttle bus to go to the terminal. Tipsy Danger says I went diligently overpacked for Hawaii to attend a destination wedding for a family member when I was in high school. Got there and realized the only thing I hadn't packed was underwear, like not a single pair. It was a mortifying conversation, but luckily there was a Walmart not far from where we were staying. I've done that. I have done that. I went to my sister's. Why did I go to my sister's? I can't remember why we were there. There's usually a reason I go to Wisconsin. Um, I can't remember why we were there, but I went to my sister's and packed the kids, I packed the husband, I packed everybody. I did not pack my underwear. I had to go to Walmart and buy new underwear. It was bad. It's embarrassing. And for those asking why it was mortifying, I was a 15-year-old girl and everything felt mortifying then. My mom wasn't there since my parents are separated, so I had to explain to my dad, who I knew would be mad. I was irresponsible. Stuff in Hawaii is more expensive, blah, blah, blah. And of course, the rest of my family found out because we're a bunch of chismosos. I don't know what that means. Looking back, it's funny, and I wouldn't be embarrassed in the slightest if it happened now, but as a teen, I wanted to walk right into the ocean. Hmm. Funky woke void demon says, haha, as a girl, the first thing I always pack is undies. Periods be getting you out of nowhere. That's true. But I have forgotten bra, socks, pants before. I'd rather forget underwear than like bras and pants because bras and pants are expensive. Underwear's pretty cheap. So honestly, I'd rather forget the underwear. Oh, Crocs. Honestly, just buy a pair of shoes once you get there. Or order some from Hobie Bear and have them sent to the hotel. They're pretty cheap sometimes if you get them on sale. And now we have an actual Best of Redditor updates. And it's entitled Girlfriend and I, 26 male and female, got into a huge fight over a keyboard, thinking about ending things based on her behavior. Hmm. So the original post was in Relationship Advice on May 19th, 2019. So my girlfriend and I, both 26, got into a fight about this 2 nights ago, and she's making it seem like I'm being an a-hole. We've been dating for 4.5 months, so not very long. My girlfriend has a 2013 Lenovo laptop that has seen better days. As it stands right now, among other issues, the keyboard totally doesn't work. Because of this, she always uses a small Bluetooth keyboard with her laptop. That's nothing wrong with that. She had texted me the next morning saying that her wireless keyboard stopped working as well. We had already planned for me to stay the night at her place after I got work, so I offered to stop by my place on the way to grab her keyboard as I have a few extras. When I got to her place, she was eagerly awaiting the keyboard, which makes sense as she wasn't able to use her computer most of the day. But when I handed her the keyboard, she started getting really quiet and pouty. A bit later, I asked her what was wrong, and she said I'd be bringing her something nicer, like the keyboard I have at my desk. No, no, that's his keyboard. The thing is, I have a really nice keyboard at my desk. I'm a programmer. I love this keyboard so much that I also bring it to work with me. I even have a specific files for that definitely improve my workflow. For context, I had an extra Amazon Basics keyboard, $15, lying around, still brand new in the box. My personal keyboard, which I've had for years, is some variant of the Razer Black Widow, around $120. No, I mean, she has a really old computer. She gets the $15 keyboard. That seems reasonable. Anyway, she was apparently expecting me to be selfless and let her use my nice keyboard while I use the Amazon keyboard. She was upset that I didn't value her enough to lend her my possessions and left her with the cheap keyboard her ways. You see what I'm holding? She said if the situation was reversed, she'd lend me the nice keyboard. Sure she would. Sure she would. I explained to her that I had my keyboard specifically set up for work, and because I was so used to it, it would hinder my ability to do work if I didn't have it. Yeah, exactly. He probably has like micros or macros set up on that keyboard. We continued to argue about it. Things really came to a head when she boldly claimed that if I wasn't willing to lend her my nice keyboard, that I should have bought her a nice keyboard if I really cared about her. No, he bought you a brand new freaking it's still in the box keyboard, dude. This is when I got really mad. I told her she was acting like an entitled, spoiled child and that she should have been grateful that I went out of my way in the first place to grab her the Amazon keyboard. She started crying and asked me to go home. I left, but I still gave her the Amazon keyboard to use. Good for you. I mean, that's reasonable. I was far more upset at the principle of the situation than the keyboard itself. Yeah, it's 15 bucks. Who cares? So now she's calling me an a-hole for both not giving her my keyboard and because I called her spoiled. We're going to meet up tomorrow to talk about this in person because I refuse to continue this silly argument over text. I'm thinking about ending things with her. I feel like this is her showing me her true colors. Yes, she will never be satisfied with what you get her unless it's the best, the best, the best of everything. Relevant comments. Coffee Mistake says you're honestly 100% right. She's acting like a spoiled child. Beggars don't get to be choosers. She wants your nice keyboard. She can buy one for herself. Better yet, she can buck up and save for a new laptop. I don't blame you at all for feeling angry. I think you should attempt to talk through it before you decide to break up with her, but it's definitely a red flag that she's acting this way. Info girl, that's how it's written, says, I think you got it right when you said she was a spoiled brat. She should never have been grateful that you came over with a keyboard, any kind of keyboard. Maybe she should take her own advice and be a little selfless. I would pose a question to you. If you two are fighting over a keyboard, what will happen when you have an issue that's a bit more serious comes up? Good luck with your talk. I have a feeling you're going to need it. And LMKBK says, never marry someone until you've seen how they act on a really bad day. Yeah, we talked about that earlier with Christine. Live with them and especially go on a trip with them because there's always going to be problems on a trip. Always. Always something's going to come up. Even a really good trip, you'll have issues. She texted me okay. Oh, they edited it. She texted me to meet up tonight instead of tomorrow. She's feeling anxious and stressed out about the situation. I will give everyone an update later tonight or tomorrow morning. I also wanted to clarify that she's never acted like this before, although admittedly we haven't been together for very long. Some of you suggested that maybe I'm not making her feel valued, and this is a symptom of that. Well, I think I both show and tell her that she's valued in different ways. This may be something I bring up with her. It, of course, doesn't forgive her behavior, but may explain some of it. Cheers. Update May 20th, 2019, the next day. We met earlier tonight and sat down to talk. Earlier tonight. Okay. I was somewhat prepared to end things with her, so I suggested we meet at her place so that I could bail if things went south, and they did. Even though I thought I made my post anonymous as possible, one of my girlfriend's coworkers figured out who the post was about. Girlfriend's age, working HR, which I mentioned in a comment. Same computer problems, dating a programmer, etc. Sent it to my girlfriend. The reason she wanted to meet early was because she was furious that I made the post airing our dirty laundry. In a sense, I guess she was right because at least one person figured it out. My girlfriend never used Reddit, so I figured I was safe. It's a strong chance she'll read this one as well. LOL. Oh well. Then she shouldn't have been acting like a brat. Anyway, she immediately began berating me, telling me I made her look bad in the post and lied about the details of our argument to get people on my side. I asked her to point out any of part of it that wasn't true or where I lied. Long story short, she couldn't point to a single thing. I definitely raised my voice when I told her that if she looked bad, it's only because of her actions. I told her I only made the post to get some perspective on the matter. The post was 100% accurate, and she knew it. She began to tear up and asked me if I was really considering leaving her over the keyboard. I asked her if she understood this wasn't about the keyboard. It was about the way she acted towards me when I was trying to do her a favor. She stayed silent and didn't answer. I asked her what prompted this outburst, if everything was okay with her. I asked her if anything had happened with her friends, parents, or work upsetting her that may have led to this. It's really long. She got really defensive, asking, are you calling me crazy? Do you think I'm unstable? It's not what he asked you. I have no idea where she was going with this. I told her I wasn't calling her crazy, that she had to understand that I was quite confused about how she was acting and that there had to be a reason for it. He asked if you were upset. He didn't accuse you of being crazy, but she does sound like she's catastrophizing. We talked in circles for a bit and I tried to pry it out of her. I still don't know what caused all of this because she simply wouldn't tell me. When I realized our conversation was going nowhere, I finally asked if we were going to have an adult conversation or if this was the hill she was willing to let the relationship die on. She asked, "What do you want from me?" And I said, "I want an apology. I'm tired of typing, so I'll wrap this up quickly." She was absolutely unwilling to apologize. She thought that my betrayal of posting about this was far worse than her initial behavior was. We talked for about 5 more minutes before I told her that I don't even care anymore. I told her this whole thing was exhausting and that she wasn't willing to help us get to the bottom of it, that we should break up. I didn't want to waste my time making my way to the door. As I was leaving, she asked if I wanted the keyboard back. She didn't ask it to be nice. She was definitely trying to get on her nerves. I could tell by the tone of her voice. I told her she could keep it as long as she promised never to call or text me again. I've been getting tons of not so nice messages from her friends, which finally prompted Lee to delete my Facebook. She obviously told her friends some false version of the story, which made it seem like I really didn't leave her over the keyboard. I couldn't care less as I'd never be seeing any of them again. You know, you can block people on Facebook, right? You don't have to delete the whole Facebook, just block the people. We only dated for 4 months, so in the end, I don't feel terribly heartbroken, just relief that it's over, but also confusion. I have no idea why she acted out. Very short edit. She called me earlier today and was very apologetic. My assumption is that she saw this post and all of the comments detailing how I was right for leaving her, among other things. I told her that she had her chance to apologize. Top comment was Oceans of Umbrellas said, I saw a comment on Reddit a while back that asked why so many relationships fail at approximately the 3 month point. And someone, no, I'm not going to spend 20 minutes Googling to give credit to the person. Don't blame you. Replied that they'd once been told it was because it was really hard for people to continue to pretend to be someone they weren't for much longer than 3 months. I think this applies to your situation. The top commenter on here, um, how much how much it costs, says, "Do you think I'm crazy?" Well, I didn't, but now I'm rethinking that. No kidding. Night Tarot says, "Seriously, OP laid it out and asked what is wrong for you to act like this, and she couldn't figure out her own feelings and decided to turn it around and asked if she thought she was crazy. Dude, I wouldn't think she was mental if she had said, I don't want to talk about it. Plausible deniability, but outright pulling that question, yeah, you're fucking crazy." OP wasn't calling her crazy. He gave her so much of the benefit, gave a myriad of possible reasons. Oh, so you think I'm crazy? Not until you said so, but yeah, you are. Glad you could figure that out, lady. But next time, don't phrase it like it's the other person's fault you made this epiphany about your own mental state. Oh my goodness. Yeah, OP dodged a bullet on that one. Definitely. She would have never been satisfied with anything. Seriously. He would have given her the engagement ring, it would have been good enough, etc., etc. The last one is for Made Me Smile, as usual. A terminally ill 5-year-old boy obsessed with horror movies has found comfort in Jason Voorhees cosplayer shortly before he passed away. Some monsters can be heroes. And here are the pictures. Do. Sure. This is the little terminally ill boy. So sad. Aw, that's so sweet. That is so sweet. Oh, it makes me want to kind of cry. Poor little boy. Rama fan says, did some digging. This happened in 2021. The cosplayer is Steel City Jason, real name Scott. Is covered in social media everywhere, but no news source exists. He has an Instagram. To further elaborate, the kid, family named Declan, passed away 3 days after this event. Oh, rest in peace, little guy. That's so sad. All right, that's it for today. I hope everybody has a good day. I will be back and see you noon again tomorrow. One of my biddies texted me something, so I'll have to go see what that is. This one's 3 hours long. That's ridiculous. How do we get to 3 hours, guys? So I'm gonna try and go learn about some more. I think I figured out how to do what I need to do to get this on some other social media and stuff like that. So we shall see. We shall see. It's going to take an awful lot of um, what do you call it? Awful lot of work on my part to make it so that I know what I'm doing. I just got this part down. I got to go on to another part. So I will see you tomorrow. Have a good day, biddies. I love you. Hit the wrong button. I'm goofy.